People used to believe a cat was the devil in disguise.
They have 9 lives. We only have 1. There is no shortage of monsters to haunt our dreams.
I said scream. Do you call that a scream?
Well, it does have a certain charm in an Amityville kind of way.
Dominant male, marking his territory.
Uninvited.
A poisonous cat. Now how's that possible?
Strays.
Those are spikes, real spikes coming towards you.
Everywhere, spying on us, watching, waiting. When will they pounce? Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 248 of the Triple Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast is coming at you live and direct with the homie JP, also known as the Mexicans, Mr. Saucedo, also known as Freeman Part 2, or Tyler, back in the house, and I be your host, Moodz. Yeah. What's going on, dudes?
Oh, just hanging out.
With it, bruh?
Basking in the victory of the New England Patriots.
Oh, fuck. It is pretty funny, though. Something that me and JP have in common this year, man. We got our asses beat by the fucking Patriots. The worst the Patriots have probably been in like 30 years, and they beat both our teams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty savage. But actually, I mean, it worked out really, really fucking well for me because Pittsburgh losing was huge for the Bills, and the Bills won today against Kansas City, so that's fucking ginormous. But man, I tell you, it's a clusterfuck in that wild card. There's like, 7 teams tied at 7-6 right now? Like, I don't think I've ever seen something like that at this point in the season where every single game is a playoff game now. Every single game.
That's pretty nuts. You can't be losing to fucking Patriots. Well,
this whole season has been like that, man. You got these, these elite teams that are losing to shitty teams, and like it's just that's why everyone's at 500, right? There's no rhythm. There's no. It's so unrhythmatic to this fucking to this season. It's just like blows my mind. Like we're in a pick'em league, and it's been harder than hell to pick. The winners, right? I mean, all you got to do, you got a 50% chance. I feel like you don't even have a 50% chance this week or this season, man, because it's just so unpredictable. Like, you pick the obvious winner and they get fucking blown out. It's one of the weirdest NFL seasons I've ever seen. It really is. It's strange. So, I mean, to be honest, like there's generally 1 or 2 teams that are so far ahead of the pack and like, well, they're probably going to be a legit Super Bowl contender. I mean, right now, I don't think there's any team out there that is a legit Super Bowl contender to win. Like, what do you think, JP?
I think that the Ravens are playing really good, and Miami feels like they're playing good. But I would have said the Chiefs until the last couple weeks, but even then they haven't. Even since the beginning of the season, they haven't looked. The
Chiefs have not been great all season. They've had a little bit of an easier schedule, so their wins are a little bit inflated because of that. But honestly, man, they've been really weak on the offensive tip. Their defense has stepped up this year, but they've been losing to bad teams.
They haven't been scoring as many points as they normally do.
No, that's the thing. Like they're very inconsistent on that end, and the Eagles are just an unpredictable team. Like their record is inflated. They've had a little bit of an easier schedule too, but to be honest, like they just seem to pull out wins out of their ass every which way. They're such a hard, unpredictable team. I think the Cowboys are super overrated. They've had a crazy easy schedule, but if they beat the Eagles tonight, man, I'll give them a fair chance at being more of a legit team. But I mean, look at the inconsistency. I mean, Miami is probably one of the stronger teams out there. The Bills, I mean, when they're on, they're on. I mean, today was a must win and they came through. So I mean, people are still saying if they can make it in the playoffs, I mean, that's all they got to do, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they make the playoffs, man, they might be hard to beat. But right now, there's just so many teams. Like, look at Denver. Like, what the fuck? Like, This team started out so shitty. They win like 5 straight games, and now they're losing a bad team. Oh my fuck! I don't know what the hell's going on with all these teams, man. It's so hard. The NFL is the wonkiest shit ever, man. But it's not as wonky as the Ohtani thing. Like, I saw this fucking crazy thing today. Like, as you guys probably know, if you're sports fans, Ohtani signed the most ridiculous contract in sports history. Like, he signed a 10-year, $700 million contract with the Dodgers. And I'm still pretty proud that the Jays were the runner-up team in that deal. Like, that's pretty crazy that he was considering going there, but it was definitely a very, very long shot. But
I'm kind of disappointed he went to the Dodgers. It's just like was so obvious. Like, I wanted to see like something like that would have been spicy if he went to the Jays. Like, that would have been cool.
I mean, to be honest, like, Ohtani can still live in the same house. Like, he just moved across town. Like, it's so bizarre. But I was looking at the
save him
stat.
a couple $1,000 a month.
Right. I saw this the stat today, and it was like Ohtani's making $700 million, and the next 2 players, which is Aaron Judge, is making $360 million, and I think the third highest paid player is I can't remember who it was. Now he's making $330. Ohtani's making more than those guys combined, and they're the second and third highest paid players. Salary
is like such a jump. Like I might be wrong, but like it's got the highest salary I've ever seen a baseball player get yearly is something like just below like 50 million, right?
Yeah.
I think like Verlander, like the last Verlander deal was like 3 years, like 47 million or something like that. But yeah, 70 million a year to play baseball. Like, holy shit.
Dude, it's fucking, and the crazy thing about, next year, you can't even pitch.
That's why I didn't think someone was going to shell out money like that. Like, if he like finished the season strong and had an MVP season like he was on track for, like, okay, maybe then maybe now you're talking, but like the fact that he has to get his second, I think it's his second Tommy John, right? He already had a Tommy John one.
Yeah, I think it is a second one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's his second Tommy John, and he can't pitch next year. So it's like, I don't know, man.
But I mean, I guess they're just gambling because this guy is such an anomaly, right? I mean, he's such an amazing hitter.
He's so marketable, though. That's the thing. Like, you're going to make a shitload of money because you have Ohtani.
Yeah. I mean, now he's in that big Dodger market and stuff. So, I mean, all power to him. It's still my mind is just blown. $700 million is fucking.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous when you think about players like sports athletes that are making almost $1 billion now. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy shit, dude. Like, I can't stop thinking about it, man. I'm just like, this is the craziest shit ever, man. It's fucking nuts to me. Like, and then the Yankees going out and trading for Juan Soto and taking that contract, which he was making like $300 million from the Padres. They traded fucking 7 players for him. Like, you can't win with one fucking player.
They can buy the rest back.
Like, they literally just traded off half their prospects, and like, oh my god, it's like, I just find that the Yankees I hate the Yankees so much.
Everyone who's not a Yankees fan hates the Yankees.
Well, I mean, I particularly hate the Yankees because I have to compete with them all season, right? We're in the same division, so I get to see the Yankees a shitload. Like, I've seen the Yankees play live a lot of times, like in Toronto and New York. But like, man,
it's intense for me just because of like when I was born, like the Yankees were insane, like through like, like the 90s and early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
So like all the kids growing up that like, and the Red Sox fucking sucked in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the kids growing up like in the year were like, I like Derek Jeter, like all that, and you had to just deal with it like all the way growing up until like the mid 2000s. It's like even when the Red Sox were winning their World Series though. Like the Yankees are still good and making the playoffs every year.
Of course. Well, that year that the Red Sox broke their curse, they came back and beat the Yankees.
That was such a crazy thing to like watch when you were 13 years old.
Dude, I was watching that game 4-2 when that shit happened. There was like 2 outs, they're losing, they come back and win the fucking game and then end up winning. They win 4 straight. I'm like, what the fuck does happen here?
Yeah.
It was the craziest shit ever.
People don't remember that aren't from like Massachusetts or Sox fans is the year before they were up like 5-2 going into the 7th inning, like in the same exact scenario, not from the comeback, but like the winner goes to the World Series. That was the year that the Marlins run. And that's the one he left Pedro in too long. And then they blew the lead. And that's what got Grady Little fired. So like we had to like eat on that and swallow that for a year. And then we're in the exact same spot, down 3 games to come back like that. It was like way more of it's already an insane story, but like when you have the whole context of it.
Yeah, I remember it, man. Yeah, I mean, even though those were the shit years for the Jays, like there was a lot of bad teams and stuff. But when it comes playoff time, I'm still watching the games and shit. But yeah, those were some pretty interesting years. But that era of like that 10 years of like the Yankees was stupid, man.
Yeah,
Fuck, it sucked to be a Jays fan, man.
well, just like any insane free like agent that went on the market, the Yankees got him. That was like forever. Like, oh, A-Rod's in the market, we'll just buy him.
Well, that's literally what they were doing.
It's like he opted out of his contract. Someone's going to sign A-Rod. Oh no, the Yankees just gave him more money.
Right. JP's hating life right now. Baseball talk. I feel like
baseball talk is the worst.
He's gonna bust out the Carly fucking sports talk. Fucking sports talk. No, baseball's fucking awesome. You're just an idiot. Just face facts. But
I mean, it's not enthusiastic to like cheer for the Pirates either.
That's that's like a big,
I mean, honestly, dude,
probably a big reason why I
that's
can't
a mud
get
hole.
into baseball.
How many seasons have they been good for? Like, in the past 30 years, how many seasons?
Well, I mean, we made the wild card back in like 2013 and 14 or 14 and 15.
There was a couple of decent seasons when McCutcheon was winning like MVPs and shit like that. And like, honestly, man, they have not really done anything in the last like 50 years.
Yeah. They won the World Series like in the early 90s, I think, or I could even be wrong about that.
I think it was the 70s.
No, the last time they won, it was way before that. Yeah.
Maybe they made it to the World Series.
Maybe. I can't remember.
I don't think so. I don't think they've been in the World Series since they won one back
it was just
in the
playoffs.
70s.
Yeah, dude.
We'll just keep
they didn't even do shit with scrawny Bonds back in the day. So but yeah, anyways, man, this is a hard podcast. Did you guys watch any? Did you guys watch? Kind of. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the comments section, man. Fucking sports talk. Get to the hard talk.
It wasn't that long.
Get to the hard talk. Yeah, we've had times before where it's, it goes on and on and on, but yeah, you guys I mean, like we've been discussing week after week here because it is approaching the year end and we're still trying to crunch in those 2023 watches and shit. Did you guys watch anything good this week? I didn't actually even watch really. Yep. I only got 3 2023 films. And what did you guys end up watching?
Me and Tyler both went and seen Godzilla. So.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say fuck you. I'm so jealous, man. I just can't. Like Dylan texted me too, and he's like, "Hey, man, what Marvel movie do you want to go see tonight?" And I'm like, "Wow, fuck," because that's all we fucking get here is like Marvel blockbusters and all this Trolls movies and all these fucking kid related shit. And like, it's horrible, dude. It's so embarrassing that we can't get anything decent, man. But like Marvel, like I hate them so much because they've flooded the market and they've just taken over everything. And like little markets like this where you got one theater, that's all you get. That's all you get.
They killed the medium budget movie. Like I don't even have anything against them, but they literally killed the medium budget movie because they take so much theater capital and then their contracts are playing so many goddamn theaters. You can't make a movie for $50 million anymore and make money.
Remember when Marvel was, first coming out with these movies quite regularly and stuff, and they seemed to be more in like the spring, summer. They were like the blockbusters and shit.
Yeah,
now they're just all fucking
all year long.
Now they're all year. It's like we're getting summer blockbusters at Christmas time. I'm like,
they're not special anymore. Like I remember when they started, you got like an Iron Man movie, and then you got like an Avengers canon movie, and you got like a Captain America movie. And that was it. And then next year maybe you got like another like Avengers hangout like team up movie, and you got like a Hulk movie and a Spider-Man movie, like whatever order they went in.
I could see if you're a fan of the movies, like how it would be exciting to like watch all this big story unfold because they're all kind of interconnected and stuff. My biggest problem is, and I even as like an outsider, I do like some of the movies and like that. Like whenever the last Avengers came out, like that felt like a big deal. So even I went and seen those. But the problem I have with the Marvel universe, and I spent like what 2 years ago, I watched like almost all the run, like all in a row in like January. But my biggest problem is they're just not different enough. They're just the same shit over and over again. And the only thing that I think really like stands out amongst all this stuff in comic book movies is Spider-Man and Batman. Like those are and I know Batman isn't Marvel, but Spider-Man is like every movie that's come out for the Spider-Man series, I actually feel is like different enough and cool. Especially that last Spider-Man movie, the live action one with like the 3 Spider-Man. That was like super interesting.
I just feel like they don't have to put any effort into these Marvel movies anymore, because you could make a movie with all the Marvel superheroes like in a bathroom just taking poops, and that shit will sell like a billion tickets, man. Like, it's just that's how ridiculous it's become. Right? Like, they don't have to put any effort into narratives. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, they are very factory templated, and for the most part, not all of them, because you do see, like, you have what's his name, like the guy that made Slither, I can't remember, James Gunn, like, directing these movies, and like, I'm not gonna like say like he's just some nobody, but they have a lot of just random directors you never heard of. Not all of them, like I said, because I know like Taika Waititi or whatever his name is also did one, but like, you get these random directors that don't have like any real cred behind them, and they just get like, they're just at the thumb of the producer. They're just a babysitter. So yeah, it's the studio just making these films. They need a name to put to it, so they'll hire on some fucking no-name director for this big budget film, and then the studio makes the film. Yeah, just point the camera. We'll edit. We'll take care of everything else, and then we'll put your name on a big fucking deal.
It's films by committee, and I used to kind of criticize like Marvel fans. Like, you're at the point where they could literally just like show you like a highlight reel of like superheroes play music and like give you clap now subtitles, and that would be good enough. But like they are starting to make a lot less money because people they're pretty. I think people are getting either fatigued or they're just like this. They're getting like to the same point where it's just, these are all the same thing. They're not special anymore. I like the characters less now.
Yeah. Well, I think like I'm looking forward to the Blade one they do in a couple years, because that has potential to be kind of different. I thought it was interesting, the one that they did with the vampire guy. That one was all right.
Morbius? Yeah. Everyone hated that one.
Well,
that was bombed.
It's probably why I liked it. I don't know.
I will say though, I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is one of my favorite like 2023 movies. I thought that movie was excellent.
I didn't even watch any this year. But Godzilla
fucking rips.
It was pretty good. Like, even so, me and Carly went to see it at 10:30 p.m. last night, which is it's a 2-hour movie. So 10:30, there's a half-hour trailers, so the movie started at like 11, and Carly doesn't like giant monster movies typically. She doesn't like 2-hour subtitled movies typically. Like, she likes some of them, but it's not like something she loves to get to. And then the fact that it was also like a period piece kind of.
Oh yeah, it is. It doesn't.
So it was like all this bad stuff that she was like gonna kill me for making her go do, and then she ended up liking it. So that goes to show you that
you just never know, right? You never know.
It's actually, I didn't really know what it was. I guess it's a remake. Is it considered a remake?
I'm very green on Godzilla. I have not seen many Godzilla.
I actually haven't really looked into it, so I actually have no idea.
Because it seems like not an origin story, but like just like the first, like everybody doesn't know who Godzilla is, so it's like obviously, not been around destroying Tokyo a bunch of times. Right. But I thought that so this actually is like really eye opening a little bit, because this one showed why I didn't really care for the last 2 American ones. Which was the Godzilla versus King Kong and Godzilla King of the Monsters, those 2.
And I like both those, man. They're awesome.
I thought they were okay. But I did like Kong Skull Island like a ton. I thought that one was really fun. But this movie is interesting because of how it ties in so much with like the war, World War II. Because it starts with a kamikaze jet fighter guy. That's who your lead character is. And there's this whole theme throughout the movie about like the war ended, but the war hasn't ended for a lot of people. Like this, the war inside your head type thing. And I thought that was like interesting. And that made me realize what I didn't like about the American Godzillas recently is I just did not give a damn about like the human stuff. Whereas this Godzilla, they made the human stuff like interesting, or at least competent enough to carry you through to the monster stuff. I do think like by the end of it got like, especially the very ending, I thought was a little cheese. But
like the last moment.
Yeah. But the Godzilla action is awesome. Godzilla looks scary. And that's the thing is like, this is probably the darkest Godzilla I've seen in a while.
The audience, the reaction of the actors too is like there is so much more genuine fear.
Yeah, it didn't come off cheesy like a lot of times Godzilla does.
Yeah, when he like comes to the city and it's like left with that guy, like, and he just like screams, like that part was so insane.
Yeah. And I thought, and like, it's actually like there's the interesting aspects too, are like we spend the entire time like pretty much in a war-torn Japanese city. You know what I mean? So it's like most of these people are like, it's post-war, like everybody's like homeless and dead from the bombs and the air raids and stuff. So, and I thought that the one of the most interesting thing was the commentary on the value of human life and like the criticization of the throwing lives away, especially in like the like kamikaze pilots and stuff, which is the most like that is like any like military that's like, okay, you're gonna kill yourself on purpose. I'm just like, bro, y'all are great. You fucking do it then. And
then
you
like
know what
the
I mean?
whole arc of his character too is like he feels like dishonor for not doing it.
Yeah, I've never fucking understood this honor with like killing yourself thing. Like to me, it's like
it's just deep rooted in cultures where everybody has like, it makes sense to their own cultures, but like every other culture looks like, you know, like through a window and think it's fucked
I
up.
honestly think that they were kind of saying like, nah, that shit's stupid in this movie.
Oh, they were definitely were.
Yeah, so it's like
definitely a war, like an
kamikaze shit, man, just blows my fucking mind, dude. Like that whole concept.
It blows their mind too.
I know it always blew my mind. I'm like, really? Like that's what that. I mean, I get it from the honor part and shit. Like you're serving your country. You might be doing something big. I mean, I get it from that.
You could be honorable
from that perspective.
by not, like in other ways. Dude.
Am I going to
like,
do that shit?
It's
Fuck
the
no.
stupidest way to be honorable.
I know. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, but there's like a huge
crazy
theme of that throughout the whole thing where like everybody like doesn't like him because he didn't want to kill himself. You know what I mean? So I like that whole aspect of it. It was very different for a Godzilla film and definitely one of the better films I saw in the theater this year. And I'm not like a massive Godzilla fan, but this is a really good Godzilla. I could see why all the Godzilla fans were like, yo, this shit's fire. And Godzilla looks really cool. I mean, it looked like a pretty expensive movie too. So it looked like on par to the American in terms of like production value.
Yeah, and it was 15 million. That was the budget.
That's actually really really low.
That's insane. Like it shows you that like you can make movies like this and they don't have to cost $200 million.
Yeah. Well, they were also made outside of Hollywood, so that helps.
Yeah. But like even so, like the lead actor in that movie, he's like a very popular voice actor. Like he's popular enough where I recognized him because I like a Japanese movie he voices in.
Yeah, he was good. And you know who I liked in the movie is like the wacky gray-haired like
the scientist
guy.
He was awesome. I love that little speech he makes when like they're all like rallying at him at the end.
Yeah. And I thought like the only thing I'll also say is like I think like the like idea like about defeating Godzilla in this one was like it worked for the story, but it just didn't make sense logically for me personally. I just thought it was like, okay, like I don't know.
I have a problem with it. If I'm going to accept this giant, like, indestructible creature as like shooting.
Well, that's the problem, right? It's a giant indestructible creature, and it's like the Star Wars thing. Well, if we hit him right in this certain spot, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I don't know, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing more in this style of Godzilla. What was it, like the 70th anniversary for Godzilla or something like that?
Yeah, will be. I think the first one came out in 54.
Yeah, it's 54.
60,
Yeah.
So 69 years. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. Sucks Moodz isn't going to be able to see it before the end of the year, most likely, but it's worth seeing.
I think it's actually coming out on VOD like the last week of the year.
You might have a chance.
I don't want to be spreading misinformation here, but I thought that's what I saw.
Nice.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll try my hardest to see that. I still got to track down Thanksgiving too, so
yeah, I think that'll be available to see.
Should be able to see that one. Yeah. So what else do you see?
I did a couple. I got fucked because like I started off really strong this week and was watching. I was literally going in order. I was doing like a 2023, a 2011, a Christmas movie, and then repeat. And I killed it like the first like couple days. I watched like 3 or 4 movies every day. And then I started playing Call of Duty, and I haven't watched anything the last couple days.
No.
Except for the movies. But I watched The Blackening, which was pretty funny.
I thought it was pretty funny. It's all right. It's like if you like scary movie, like those types.
Is it really funny? Because it looked just like scary movie.
It's funny. It's not like gut busting funny, but it's funny. Like there's a couple parts that are.
I thought like the first half was more fun than the second half. I kind of got worn out by the second half.
I had a really interactive. I saw that in the theaters, and I had a really interactive crowd, so that was good. Like, there's this little line where someone's like trying to prove like they're not the blackest or something, and someone goes, "I've never seen Friday," and some guy in my theater just yells, "What?" It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that stuff is kind of fun. Like that the commentary and like the pop culture references are good.
Yeah.
Like right at the beginning, it actually kind of drove me insane though, because right at the beginning there's a people under the stairs reference, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then like a couple minutes later, there's like a question, like in like a Scream type way, like what's your favorite scary movie? It's like name a black character who lives at the end of a horror movie, and I'm like, full from people under the stairs. You just mentioned the movie like 2 minutes ago.
Right.
So it kind of pissed me off that they didn't know an answer to that. And I'm like,
I think I was like, when I remember at that part too, like yelling like Roger at the screen or something.
It was just annoying because they literally just mentioned people under the stairs like 2 seconds ago. Like it would have been.
Yeah, that's poor writing. That's just poor writing.
Wasn't next to each other, you know?
Yeah.
And then I watched 2011 Attack the Block. Love that movie. Watch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. This is not good. Another 2023 movie that I watched that was pretty good was one called There's Something in the Barn.
Oh, you did watch that.
That one's on my list.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Ooh.
It's a Finnish movie, right?
Well, it's set in Finland. I don't know if it's actually Finnish. Probably, maybe is.
Yeah, I thought it was a Finnish production, but probably Finnish co-production with America. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, I guess it technically is a not even a co-production. It's just Finnish.
Yeah,
but it's weird because it's American. Like like it starts out in Finnish, and then you follow.
Yeah, because isn't the narrative like an American family?
Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
And so they all speak English. But they move out to this house, and there's a shed, and there's literally like little elves that live in the shed that are mean. And it reminds me of like Gremlins a lot, like the zaniness of Gremlins at certain points. But it was fun. It was fun. It was funny.
I wasn't sure like if it was going to be too goofy or not. Like I have it on a list to watch too, but I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about it. Like,
I mean, it's a bit goofy. It's a bit goofy for sure. But it's not. It's still like a little grounded.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I feel it's kind of Gremlins-y. You know what I mean? Like where like there's serious moments, but then there's like the bar scene, like the bar scene in Gremlins. There's like a scene like that in this, right, where they're like all the gnomes are like fucking, or not gnomes, elves.
The elves.
Yeah. Watched Ernest Saves Christmas, Yogi's First Christmas. I watched Sick, which I thought was all right.
I think
this one kind of for me was like what Tyler was saying about last week when he was talking about like influencer, like just annoying. Like I was kind of a little annoyed at Sick.
Yeah.
But I think I watched a couple other things too that I didn't log yet, so I can't remember. But what did you watch, Tyler?
I actually had a great week with movies. So I was able to get in 6 2023 horror films, and all 6 of them were good.
Wow.
That was the first time that's happened. Yeah, they were all at least good. One movie though I want to highlight that's 2023. I have not heard anybody mutter a word about, and I think it just people are passing over it or because it looks really terrible. And you guys are gonna think I'm trolling when I say this, but it's called Unicorn Wars, and it looks like a kids movie. Like it literally looks like Care Bears, but it's like a hard R, like super dark, like war movie. And it's like presented as like a dark fairy tale, and it's about like these bears like go into the woods like that are like basically brainwashed and propagandized like as a military to go into the woods to fight a war against the unicorns, and it's super violent, it's super dark.
It's animated?
And it's animated, yeah.
I was gonna say, Jesus, is this live action? Is this
no wonder
action?
nobody mentioned anything about it.
Yeah, it's Spanish. Oh, God. But yeah, like
it's really animated honestly, movie about fucking killer bears.
Military bears, and it's like
military bears.
It's super violent.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really graphic. It's really, but I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I think it's like a movie that, and it is listed. It's also it says 2022 because it's like one of those movies that played in festivals last year, but it came out in May of this year.
Yeah.
If you have any questions about when a movie was released, I'm usually pretty good at figuring it out.
I've noticed like it's pretty accurate if you just go on IMDb and it tells you like when it was actually released.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a movie I think people just have kind of like overlooked because it looks ridiculous. But that movie is great. I would definitely recommend that if you're into 2023 horror movies. I saw VHS 85. I thought I liked that it felt like they did something different, or it was kind of like how like different like stories like intertwined, and I thought it was really cool, like the way, and I was pretty satisfied by the end. I watched Birth Rebirth. I thought that movie was really good. I definitely recommend that one.
Is it horror?
Yeah, I was looking at that one too, actually, and
it's like decent. Kind of like a modern like Frankenstein reanimation movie. But it's like done in a way that it's not like ridiculous. Like I'm sure like if like a medical professional could tell you like, no, this is stupid, but I'm not that person. And like it seems like it's very well acted, and it seems like it's something that like theoretically like didn't make sense. Like someone actually develops like through trial and error, like and they're like how that reanimate a corpse, and like there's all these like medical things like that matter. Like you can't just go like grab like a random corpse like of anyone or But yeah, it's more of a grounded take on that, and it was really good. I watched that movie Nefarious. I thought it was pretty decent.
Okay. And did you see the? Do you think that it is like?
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. That's a whole concept. Okay, so the movie is definitely not political. This is the thing. There's a character who is a literal demon. Like literally says, "I am a demon." Like that's how it starts out, and he has some conservative takes. Because he's a demon, and but he says like there are things that like biblically are wrong that he's like, yeah, that's wrong. Keep doing them. Like, dude, he's literally a demon. Like, what do you think he's gonna say? And at the end, like the guy, well, I'm not gonna say anything about the ending, but like if it, like people like just see anything that's like that takes a pro-religious stance in like any capacity at all, and like want to believe that's the filmmaker like propagandizing people. Dude, it's a literal demon. Talking in biblical sense, like these are just the moral codes of like the religion. I don't understand like what like it's suddenly.
I know I wasn't like
it's like if you hate, and like I'm just saying like, if you're on like the side that like hates conservatives, whatever, like that, like that's fine. But like it's a literal demon. So like if anything, they're saying that conservatives are demons.
Right.
Like I don't understand like why like people think it's like some type of movie like that. But it's just it's a pretty decent like kind of contained horror thriller, and it's
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was good.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely not like anything crazy.
Well, it has on like Rotten Tomatoes, like the reviews, it's like super rotten, like 30%, but like the audience score is 96.
Yeah, of course.
I always find it so weird.
Yeah,
like
that is
96,
weird.
like when critics don't like a movie and the audience does. It's very weird.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I do see if you look on Letterboxd, it's got like one of those rating scales where it's like literally all the way across the scale with like a high concentration at like the low end and also a high at the other end. So that just means it's like this politically different people. Like this is the greatest film I've ever seen, or this is the worst piece of propaganda I've ever seen.
I don't know why people can't separate their political beliefs.
Because it's just showing people on the internet like you stand with whatever side you stand for. That's literally it.
Yeah.
People are so like people don't even realize how ununique and like how like crazy that sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways, I don't mean to get political. But yeah, I didn't think that was a political movie.
Yeah, like this one says here, this is from Rotten Tomatoes, from Carla Hay. As this doll movie drones on, it becomes preachy propaganda for right-wing beliefs.
Did they miss the whole demon thing?
And then
it's
this
literally
one says,
evil talking.
That's what I mean. Like
That's how like most people consider right wing.
So if anything, they're calling the right wing the embodiment of evil. Like I don't know
but that's exactly what it like. It's actually it's completely yeah. Oh my god.
This
it's not propaganda, man.
Advertises itself as a possession thriller, but pulls a bait and switch and delivers a Christian conservative propaganda piece.
Oh man, people are fucking.
It's a 90-minute sermon on abortion, euthanasia, and death.
Yeah, because the devil's excited. The devil's excited that humans are doing. It even has a part where it makes commentary that humans are worse than demons.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, like but when he goes into the whole part about the racism, like being racist, and she's like,
he's like, we didn't even come up with racism. That was all you.
He's like, we had nothing to do with that. That was all you. Thanks for that. We just sat back and enjoyed that shit.
Yeah,
right. Most of the negative reviews are bringing up the right wing propaganda aspect, though,
because people hear an opinion and then they go in and they just look to validate their opinion and then they go write a review on it.
I think they
show all their shitty friends on Twitter or whatever that like, look, this movie sucks. It's conservative.
A lot of
it's not, man.
A lot of review, like professional, like critics, people who get paid for their reviews, or at least published. I've noticed a lot of them are like very pretentious,
mm-hmm.
and a lot of these reviews seem that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. The last 2023 movie I watched that I thought was very good was Enos Men. Enos Men's definitely not going to be for everyone. It's one of those movies you're either going to really like, or you're going to think is absolutely boring. I would probably the recent movie that was kind of split like this. I would compare it to would be Hagazussa,
which was like my favorite film of that year.
Yeah, so like I think you will like this. It's very like yeah, it's like that. Where it's
that one made my top 10.
Yeah, so like if you like that, you might like this movie. It's gonna be, but if people like thought that was the most boring thing they've ever seen, like they're definitely not gonna like this movie. And I do think Hagazussa is a better movie than this. I will.
Yeah, I mean, I've been recommended a few times, and it seems I read up on it, and I actually ordered a copy because I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy it. So
yeah, I really enjoyed it for sure. I watched some 2011s too. Most of them I thought were not very good, but two that were rewatches that I thought were really good is I thought Kill List was great on rewatch, and that's a movie I've never been that high on.
I'm still not that high on it.
Yeah, I've seen it like three times prior to this
Kill List, man.
And I just was always like, it's cool, but I think people just get hyped up by the ending, and I don't think it's as great. But like for some reason, like this time, it really just kind of like saturated with me, and I enjoyed like a lot of the camaraderie that like the two hitmen had, and just like the way that like they wrapped in the family dynamic, and it just like it just worked for me a lot better than it ever has. And I rewatched Sleep Tight, which was, I don't think it's like maybe is not as high as like you guys were when you reviewed it, but I do think it's really good. And that guy that like the lead just acts the shit out of that part. And without his like commitment, that movie would have not been as great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to rewatch that one, man.
That
It's
was
been
my
years.
second time watching it, and I did like I really really liked it the first time. Like I was
Actually,
like really high.
The last time I watched it was when we reviewed it, what, 10 years ago?
Same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so it's like I
God,
think
crazy.
you guys understand. Like there are some things you kind of gotta like stretch like the okay into, but he does like it's a well grounded movie. Like a lot of the characters like are believable in their reactions and just the way they behave, and like that guy's just so that lead is so unwavering to his commitment in that role that he really brings it home. And aside from that, I also got to see in theaters this weekend the new Studio Ghibli movie, The Boy and the Heron. I won't go super into that, but that movie I thought was really good. So if like you're even just into like watching like these like really like nice hand drawn spectacles, I would definitely recommend catching this in theaters if you can. It's got a great voice cast too. I realized Dave Bautista was a character halfway in, and that made me laugh. So that was fun.
Nice.
And lastly, like I'm gonna steal a little pretentious Tyler moment for a second because I watched this movie last night. It's not a horror movie. Not pretending it's a horror movie, but it's called An Elephant Sitting Still, and it is one of the most like solemnly depressing, like pessimistic movies I've ever seen in my life. It follows four people who are the story of four people like intertwining to this fixation they have to this legendary elephant standing still in a northern Chinese village, and they're all facing a lot of like turmoil and hard turning points in their life, and everything in it just filmed in like such a way that it's so naturalistic. It's like it's all handheld. Like there's like long takes. So you have several like 15 like 20-minute like takes regularly in the movie where it just never cuts and it follows people around. It was just like really like it was probably the best experience I've had at watching a movie at home this year. And I just thought it was a masterpiece. So I want to shout that out. But I will say this movie is 4 hours long and Chinese and very, very heavy and very, very dark. But if that's something that maybe you feel you might want to explore, I highly recommend this film.
You're in the nuts, bro.
I loved it. And super dark. The director made this came out in 2018. The director finished this, edited it, got all set to go. And that was in 2017. It was all completely ready for festivals. And then like a couple weeks later, he killed himself. He never saw the movie. Yeah, he never saw the movie or anything. So then people saw this like really sorrowful, depressing movie, and like it's kind of looked at as a suicide note.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really heavy movie, but I really loved it.
Wow, it's crazy. Yeah, I didn't really watch a whole lot this week. I was so damn busy at work this week. I mean, it's the Christmas season, so it's just never fucking ending. But I did watch 2011s. I rewatched The Taint, which I still love. It's the most misogynistic film ever made.
Too, and oh my god, there's so many random people on my Letterboxd have been watching The Taint lately, and we all just keep liking each other's reviews and talking about it. It's just so fucking funny.
It's just, I mean, I remember the first time I watched this when it came out, I was pissing myself laughing. I'm just like one of the first things you see in the film is like a dude with a big hard cock, and he's like coming everywhere, and it's just like, what the fuck is this shit, man? And it's like, but it's basically, if you've never seen The Taint before, it's like it's set in this world where the water's all been tainted, and it turns men into like raging misogynists and fucking just brutally violent against women. Like they want to crush their heads and, you know, rape and kill them and shit. And it's essentially what it is. It's like these two characters. One of the guys, he's not infected, and it's this girl. They team up just to fight the evil and shit. But it's just like nonstop hard cocks and coming and fucking just blood and gore throughout the whole movie. Soundtrack's amazing. It's got like a heavy fucking new wave synth soundtrack and shit. It's awesome. It's so much fun. It's such a fun movie. It's like, it's vibrant.
I've been like listening to it all week. It's stuck in my head.
Yeah, it's super violent, dude. Like it just, the kills in this are just nasty and shit. It just makes me laugh because it's just so driven by that score, and it's so much fun. It's just such a fun wrong
when that
movie,
when that score
right?
starts cranking and that guy shows up with like his gang of apocalyptic dude, it is like the funniest 5 minutes of like movie you've ever seen in your life.
I know, man. These dudes are fucking hilarious, man. But it just rips by, man. It's like a 75-minute movie, and like by the time you started, it's over. It's just like, holy shit, that was quick, man. Yeah,
This was a movie I stumbled on when I was like 21 years old, and I would show it to everyone because I knew it was just like the most shocking thing anyone had ever seen, any normal person had ever seen.
right. Yeah, it had been a long time since I'd actually revisited it, and it's still fun as hell, man. It's good shit. So,
it's great.
Yeah. I also rewatched Red State. Haven't seen that one in years, actually.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so I'm looking forward to that revisit.
I also rewatched it.
Yeah, it's I still can't even believe that Kevin Smith wrote and directed that film. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's just such.
You know why he did, right? Two main reasons.
I possibly do. I just don't remember.
I don't remember. I probably like.
Well, the first reason is that Zach and Mary bombed, and he was super depressed, and he went and watched a Wayne Gretzky documentary, and it made him get inspired. And then because he's a big hockey fan,
yeah.
So when Zach and Mary was bombing, he literally just locked himself inside his room with his giant DVD collection and just watched movies and stuff. And the Wayne Gretzky documentary brought him out of it. And then 2, when Dogma came out and like all these religious people were coming after him, especially like in the Westboro Baptist Church and stuff. So he got tied to the Westboro Baptist Church and like the leaders and stuff like that, and they had a back and forth and like beef, and he wrote Red State basically in response to his movie bombing. And he said he literally just every time when he was writing it, every time he started going in a place where he knew he was gonna go, he said he just changed it to something else to make it like twisty, and just not predictable. But he also invited that Shirley and whoever the Westboro Baptist Church people are to the premiere of it, and they actually came and watched a little bit of it and then left, which is interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, it's I remember Kevin Smith used to do these like stand-up comedy things almost. They were really they were booked as Q&As, but they were really like stand-up comedy.
Yeah, and even with Kevin Smith.
Yeah, those things. He tells that story on like the 4th one or the 5th one that he did. Like,
okay, so
I've something like that.
I've seen them all. I couldn't remember the story though. But I actually own them all. I own them all. But yeah, no, Red State is it's good.
That's good to hear.
Like it's upon rewatch, I was just like, I vaguely remembered that it was about, cultish shit and stuff like that. And, John Goodman's really good in the film, and there is some shocking moments and stuff, but I just
John Goodman is very good. He's the highlight to me. Him and, I forgot the actor's name, the guy that's, the guy from Office Space and Dodgeball and Get Out.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, no, there's some shocking moments, and like I really enjoy his direction in the film, and just how it's so not Kevin Smith. Like, it's so far out the box that it's so enjoyable to watch. You're like, man, this is just so different. Like, there's really no comedic moments in it whatsoever.
Yeah, and that was the first time he really did that.
Yeah, the only part that feels like Kevin Smith at all is the conversation in the high school classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that, or maybe the bullhorn thing at the end of the movie. Like, I mean, if
even that, like that, honestly, like
if you think about that, that's pretty comical.
On the table, I'll even put my cards on the table and say, like, I thought this movie was just okay, but that part was like that writing at the end is very good. That's probably one of some of the best like things Kevin Smith's ever written.
Right, Michael Park when he comes out and he's just like, when they hear that noise, I'm like, oh my god, that's so fucking ridiculous. And then you find out where the sound's coming from. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, John Goodman. Yeah, John Goodman's kind of he's the big highlight for me in this.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, Kevin Smith was like sort of known for one thing, and then he started doing other shit too.
He still kind of is just.
Yeah, but he started doing like other stuff too, like because he did Tusk like a couple years after this, which is like horror.
That feels like a Kevin Smith movie still though.
I don't know. I haven't seen Tusk in a little bit.
It doesn't.
I rewatched it a few years back, and I was thinking it doesn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie to me. It's just it's such a bizarre idea.
I don't think it's a good sign when you're making a movie about someone getting turned into a lobster, and the most unbelievable part of the movie is that girl is cheating on Justin Long with Haley Joel Osment.
You mean walrus.
A walrus.
Not a
Yeah,
walrus. It's lobster.
yeah he
walrus.
did say lobster,
Yeah,
and I was just like, I'll let him finish before we correct him. It was a walrus.
And there's
but-
literally a movie where someone gets turned into a lobster. That's funny.
Dude.
yeah.
But no, like I don't know. I think Kevin Smith's like a fun director because he'd be doing different shit.
Yeah, no,
and
He's got a couple I like, but I'm pretty mixed on him.
I like most of his movies, honestly.
I like his early stuff. I like Clerks and I like Mallrats a lot.
Well, yeah, obviously those are like the classics. But I like Red State a good bit. Tusk was good. Yoga Hosers I actually like, even though a lot of people don't.
I felt like that was
I've never
just
seen
like-
that one.
It's like Kevin Smith and Johnny Depp buy their kids a movie.
Yeah, I like that aspect. I like that. Why not? Why not?
I mean, if like, I'm not gonna pretend that like if I wasn't one of them, like, yeah, I'm fucking rich, I'll buy my kid a movie. Fuck it.
No, what it is Johnny Depp and Kevin Smith's daughters are like really good friends, and they want to become actors together. So that they wrote a movie that is fun for that. They look like they had a blast making. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Hey man,
Honestly, there's nothing
movies are
wrong with
meant to
it.
be fun. You might as well make them for that exact
I mean,
reason, right?
it's very cheesy, like more cheesy than most Kevin Smith stuff. But I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was funny. But yeah, I'll revisit Red State soon. I thought I owned it, but apparently I do not.
It's on that. Oh, it's wicked expensive now too. I think.
Is
It's
it
like-
really?
I think it's
shit.
super out of print. Yeah, it's on that MB though. I think that's where I watched
Yeah.
it.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty easily accessible, but it's just I thought I owned the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
but
I was
guess
even
don't.
just like exploring that thing today, and it's got like every obscure like art house movie like I'd ever want. So
Yeah, I'm a big
that,
fan.
that
I'm a
place
big
has everything.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan of like exploiting fucking cults, like cult exploitation and shit like that. Like
I like anything that's
they're all
religious
insane.
that isn't an exorcist.
they're all insane. Like, you know, you can be like the most wholehearted like Christian and stuff like that, and you know these religions they're just so full of hypocrisy and stuff. But like, I love like even like these cults, man. Like they think they're doing complete right and shit, but like they're just going out of their way killing homosexuals, right? Like there's so much hypocrisy there, and I love how he just exploits the shit out. Like there's no beating around the bush here, man. Is what he's trying to say. Everyone's a fucking hypocrite. It's pretty good.
Well, I mean, especially the Westboro Baptist Church. I mean, they are actually like really bad people.
Oh, I know.
Like, they're
but these
I
cults
don't know if
are
you've
like
ever
out
seen
there
them.
causing problems. Like they're out there just protesting homosexuality and stuff, and then they're just abducting people and murdering. Like they think that's okay. Like the rules don't apply to these people, man. It's just like
Well, it's like
it's
sucks,
such a
dude,
fucking
'cause it gives,
hypocrisy,
like,
man.
Like most people that are just like normal religious people are just like normal fucking people that don't give a shit
Yeah.
if you're gay or anything like that. But you have people like that that are so publicized and they just like put the worst image possible. And it's like easy to exploit and apply that to like so many people that are just like normal everyday people.
Right.
Yeah,
no,
it's
I like the way it plays out. There's some shocking moments, man. Like with Kevin Pollard's character in Red State when he gets killed. That's pretty cool, man. I like the scene where the
Yeah, I
fucking dude
remember
just
this
taps
movie
out.
very well for only seeing it once. So I think maybe that was part of it. That was like, I know like when everyone's gonna get killed and like how everything happens.
Like when our main character gets outside and the fucking
Yeah, and I
the dude
like,
taps
if I
them out,
didn't-
man. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
he fucking taps
it's
out
like
the guy
it's
and the
also
girl.
like
I was
Waco as well.
Yeah,
I actually
it's
did
totally a
forget
play
about
on
that
Waco.
part at the end with like
Yeah.
Kyle Gallner or whatever his name is. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
forget about that at the end. I was like, holy shit, that was fucked.
Yeah, dude, it just like bam, bam. It's like fuck, it's crazy. So yeah, Red State was a
He's
cool.
so like hyped up about it. Ugh.
Yeah, it was a fun rewatch, man. It was very much pleased with that one. And I watched The Divide. I thought I'd seen this movie before. Apparently I'd never seen it. I popped it in and I was like, I don't remember a fucking thing. So all I knew is that it was set in a post-apocalyptic world, and it's basically about these survivors that are in the basement of this apartment building and shit, and they're just surviving. And shit goes fucking batshit down in the basement. Have you guys seen The Divide before?
I watched
not.
it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think you mentioned it too. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty decent. Like, it just goes pretty crazy towards the end and stuff. Like, like really, really fucking crazy. But there's points in this film where I feel like there's so much more to be explored that they never touched on, man. Like when the dude goes outside after they kill these, whatever you want to call military dudes, these, I don't know what the fuck you want to call these people. Anyways, they take one of the suits to go outside, and he realizes that they're doing like tests and shit, like on people and shit. Like they're obviously trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in the world and stuff like that, but they don't really explore it anymore. Like when the Rosanna Arquette's daughter gets fucking abducted, they never touch on it again. Right? Like she's just fucking gone from the movie. And then when he goes outside and he realizes that this world is like kind of in a bubble now and there's like all these experiments going on and shit. And like these people aren't really there to help them and stuff. But they never explore it. And I felt like there was a whole nother story there. And it basically just kind of redirects itself into, the characters that are in the basement and stuff. And then their downfall, their fucking spiral into the depths of, dark hell and shit like that. And I just feel like at the end of the day, it's a super depressing film because, there's a character that gets to see the outside and stuff like that. But it's like, you kind of expect that because it is set in a post-apocalyptic world. And obviously, if there's this bubble shit outside, like, it's really, really fucking bad out there and the whole world is devastated and basically dead. But it is depressing, but I feel like there's so much more story that wasn't developed in the film that could have been. I think this movie could have been a lot better. I still really enjoyed it for what it is. I'm a big post-apocalyptic fan. I truly believe someday this shit's going to happen because it might not be in our lifetimes, but some crazy motherfucker is going to hit that button and it's going to go kaboom. Like, I just feel like
I actually kind of liked that we just got hints of what was going on outside.
But I wanted to know, like, because they don't even explain even what happened to the world. Like, it I kind of like that though, because it's like, no, I know, but
like
but if you're going to explore,
mystery.
If you're going to have this scene where they basically fucking cut their way into this building, steal this kid, and then you get glimpses of like, them doing tests and shit. Like, I just wanted to know exactly who the fuck these people were and shit. Like, I don't know, but it feels like
I think it's just to show that they can't leave.
Right.
It's a MacGuffin. Doesn't really matter what they're doing.
Yeah.
I love that word, MacGuffin.
Yeah, because the whole world is basically just it's just feral. It's like, I mean, the whole world's blowing up and shit like that. You got to breathe through apparatuses and shit. So
that's another show we need to add.
Would you call this movie a heavy hitter of 2011?
No,
I wouldn't call it a heavy hitter, but I would say it's worth watching.
I'm definitely going to watch it. But like this week, since I'm going to be traveling and pretty much have my iPad, I'm not going to watch any heavy hitters on my iPad. I'm just going to watch
this would be a good iPad movie.
Yeah,
because it's mostly like dialogue and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm kind of zeroing in on what I'm going to watch this week. Like, I haven't watched Attack the Block yet, but I'm not going to watch that on an iPad. So I've never seen these.
I fucking love Attack the Block, dude.
Attack the Block looks like it's pretty well regarded. It's got good actors in it. Like,
it's just a fun movie, dude. It's fun. It's funny. It's cool. I've always liked it ever since it came out. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never seen it. So that's why, like, I definitely don't want to like have my first viewing on be like on an iPad.
The music's good. Like the vibes are good. Like.
I've always heard good things about it, and there's like 2 people that have seen it that I follow on Letterboxd, whose opinion I really trust, that both have it rated really high.
What do you like Attack the Block, Moodz?
Yeah, I do. It's fun.
Yeah,
I actually have it sitting out there ready in a pile to watch again. So yeah, I'll get to it.
The lead character's name is Moses.
Yeah, it's been years since I've seen. I think the last time I watched it, probably when it came out. I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, no, that was all I watched for 2011. I watched 3 2023 films. First one I watched was No One Will Save You. Have you guys heard of this one?
I've heard of it. It's on my list.
Is that one on? No, I don't know about that one. I don't think.
So it's basically about a girl that is being kind of, I guess, kind of attacked, followed, whatever. She lives by herself in this house, and it's kind of like an Alien type film.
Yeah, I read the description, and it seemed like an Alien description, like invasion movie.
Yeah, it's basically this alien kind of shows up at her house, and then she's got to battle this alien force and stuff like that.
Oh, is that the Hulu? That's the Hulu movie.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm like 20 minutes into this movie, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I've seen this shit before, and it instantly dawned on me, man. It's totally like a movie length remake in a sense of the classic Twilight Zone episode, The Invaders. Like, if you guys have ever seen that episode, it's like, from the early 60s or whatever. And I think that one also has no dialogue. So this movie is like a 90-minute movie, and it has no dialogue in it whatsoever. It's like this character versus like this alien force, this alien thing. And there's basically just breathing and and sound effects and shit. It's just the sound design and our one character and stuff. It's pretty cool, man. I actually really enjoyed, like, it's got pretty good atmosphere. It's got some really tense kind of creepy moments and stuff like that. I thought the alien looked really cool. But I can see it not being for everybody, but it's funny because, like, I was about a half an hour and I'm like, has there been any dialogue in this movie at all? And then by the end, I think there's one word said in the whole movie. And it's like, it's just so bizarre to see a film like that in 2023 where there's no dialogue whatsoever. But I think it worked. Like, the main actress, she did a really good job selling. I just find it hard to believe, though, like, if you're by yourself, especially me, because I talk to myself all the time. Like, I just don't care. Like, I think out loud. I guess I'm not really talking, but I think out loud, and I actually say words out loud all the time to myself. I'm a weirdo, I know. But I feel like if you were in this particular situation, like, you'd be saying shit to the alien, like, get the fuck out of here, like, you know, like something, right? I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that you wouldn't say a damn thing. But yeah, I think her name's Caitlin Dever. I think she does a really good job in the film. But overall, it was entertaining, man. Like, it ripped by for like 90-minute film. There's pretty cool moments and shit. But you know, it's playing off the whole anxiety thing. Like, it just seems like everybody in this world has like high levels of anxiety now and shit. And, like,
I'm so sick of that trope. I'm sorry, but I'm just done
that's her
with
character.
It,
that's her character. Like, she's basically a homebody and she's super full of anxiety and shit. And then, of course, this happens.
Every movie, just like, oh, anxiety is the trauma. Oh my god.
Me and the wife were actually talking about this last night, and like, I'm just saying, like, what happened? Like, I remember back in like the 80s and like 90s and shit, like, I never, like, the word anxiety was almost laughable because you're like, oh, you know, I've got anxiety, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But now just, it becomes like, it's the total norm. Like, everybody suffers from like high level anxiety that's like medicated and stuff. I'm like, what happened in the last 20 years? I swear, like, obviously people had anxiety before that wasn't diagnosed and stuff, but like, just
it's not
like
any different. It's just everybody's anxious. Everybody's anxious sometimes. It doesn't mean you have fucking anxiety. Everyone just wants a goddamn trophy.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Sure.
It's a big thing.
And I know there's people that actually have anxiety and really struggle to do everything. I'm not talking about you people. I don't mean to harp on you, but there's so many people that just want a fucking trophy and be like, there's something wrong with me.
But I hear it every fucking day, like, about people like, you know, I've got so much anxiety and this, and I'm like, I don't know what it is about like, I don't have anxiety at all. Like, I don't get nervous. I don't freak out about shit. Like, I don't know. I'm just weird like that, I guess. I don't know. But I hear it all the time. Like, even at work, I'm like, man, I suffer from so much anxiety. I can't do this and that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what anxiety is. Weird. Maybe I'm just soulless or something. I have no idea. Someone said that to me one time. Like, you have no feelings. You don't have anxiety. I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's ridiculous. No, and this is not a rip on people that have
anxious sometimes.
That have actual anxiety. Because I know there's people that suffer from it really bad, and like, you know, they can't leave their houses and they're medicated for it and stuff. And that sucks. That really does suck. But, you know, it becomes to the point where people are just saying it all the time that really don't have that level of anxiety and stuff like that. And I'm just so tired of people saying, oh, I can't do it. It's almost like an excuse now. But anyways, I digress. Don't want to get too heavy into that, but no one will save you.
Have you guys
it's good
seen any like the spots for Silent Night? I mean,
the action movie.
I was gonna, because it's when you see there's no dialogue in that movie from what I understand.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh no,
I saw stuff about it.
I just saw
that's probably why it's split, and it's probably really hard to like take anyone's like review on it, because like I can see like if it really has no dialogue like that, it can be really
I think it's like this type of movie I think is easier to do with no dialogue because it's like one main character. Like, it's literally one.
It's a John Woo movie too, so it's like John Woo's a guy.
Right. That's crazy. Huh. But yeah, no, I do recommend No One Will Save You. I thought it was pretty good for what it is. I think JP, you watched Night of the Missing. I think you talked about that one too. I had a little bit of time. I knew it was short. It was an anthology, so I checked it out, and it's terrible. It's set on Christmas Eve. Basically, this girl walks into the sheriff's office and tells some stories and shit. It's super predictable. The stories are totally forgettable. It's pretty bad. It was actually really bad. Like, the production value of it wasn't overly too bad and stuff. I didn't think the shorts were done poorly. I just think they were uninteresting. The whole wraparound was super, super predictable. I do like the idea of telling the stories about, you know, obviously the point is about people going missing and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I could have watched a longer version of the kid with the ice cream truck and stuff. Like that one, it felt like it was super, super short. And like, it's just like, okay, bam, it was over. And I was like, oh, that was disappointing, kind of thing. And like the TV one was kind of it has a decent idea to it, but it was like, nah, fuck, whatever. But overall, it's just, it's very, very forgettable. I don't think it was horrible. I give it like a 5 out of 10. It's pretty average type stuff. So then I finally checked out Brooklyn 45. With my man Larry Fessenden, who's in the film. We've talked about this on the cast. It's basically just about 5 war vets get together after the war, and Larry Fessenden's character wants to basically contact his recently deceased wife with a seance, and they do that, and basically shit hits the fan. I think it's kind of cool because I wasn't expecting it to go into where it went. I don't want to ruin it for the people who haven't seen it, but I was expecting it to be kind of like a super over the top, kind of cheesy, supernatural type film and stuff. But you did get a lot of commentary. You got a lot of other parts of, the characters' backgrounds and stories and things like that. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was actually quite well done and interesting. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting about that character. And then this and that, and like how everything kind of plays into each other and shit like that. And I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was really well done, really well acted too. I could have done with more Larry Fessenden in the film. That was kind of disappointing, but nevertheless, a little bit shocking. So I liked it. But yeah, Brooklyn 45, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
and then we've had our first viewing of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation last night. Well, we had we had a fondue at our place with another couple, and
Harley hates that movie
and their kids and stuff. And then after they left, we watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I've never seen it, and I've owned it on Blu-ray for 2 years.
Dude, I literally have watched this movie hundreds of times in my life. Hundreds of times.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's my most logged film on my Letterboxd, actually.
Didn't it come out in like 1997 or something too?
No.
89.
Oh, 89. Okay, so someone would have had to show me this, but I don't know. Someone showed me Home Alone. Why didn't someone show me this when I was 8?
How in the fuck have you never seen Christmas Vacation?
On TV all the fucking time.
Dude,
I don't know.
TV. That's
crazy.
I
think I got into a part 2 where it's like, I don't want to watch this.
How come Carly doesn't like fucking Christmas Vacation? That's craziness to me. What's not to like, man?
I've never seen Regular Vacation either.
Oh man, Christmas Vacation is the best one.
I think Vacation is the best one, but I like Christmas Vacation.
I think this is the thing. All right. Oh,
so whatever. Best favorite.
I think I keep putting it off because I've never seen Vacation, and I kind of feel like I'm supposed to watch Vacation first.
You don't really have to, but
there's probably callbacks though, right? So
no.
Really?
No, actually, there really isn't in this at all.
Right.
They're not even the same actors, except for one.
Oh, I thought it was the same family.
No,
it is the same family.
No, Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo.
I see,
the kids are different.
Yeah, the kids are different.
I always assumed that Christmas Vacation was gonna it was gonna jump into as if it was Home Alone 2 or something, and you already know all the characters and they'll have some callbacks to the first one.
No, they're independent of each other. They don't they don't even reference you wouldn't even be able to tell that the stuff that happened on Vacation happened.
Yeah, basically Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo, their characters are the same. Their kids change over years. Juliette Lewis is their daughter in this film, and Johnny Gilgecki. Johnny Gilgecki is the boy in this.
I know the name, but I can't put a face to him.
It's pre-Roseanne. He was David on there, and he was also on The Big Bang Theory. He's the main guy in Big Bang Theory.
Wow, so he's got to be wicked young.
Darlene's fucking boyfriend in
That's
Roseanne,
crazy.
Bro. You don't have Darlene's boyfriend?
Johnny Galecki. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Galecki. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's got fucking. This movie has so many faces in it, man. It's just ridiculous how many big names are in this film.
Beverly D'Angelo was one of the lesbians in the Sentinel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
okay, I know who we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So their characters they're always in the Vacation movies, but yeah, the kids change and stuff. But yeah, Julia,
I'll definitely watch that.
Oh, it's so much fun.
I'll definitely watch that this year then.
And then we started to watch that new Eddie Murphy Christmas movie, and I don't know, man. We were fucking talking, and then but the movie's super strange. I kept rewinding shit, and then wife got all pissed off at me and shit. So, but by this time we had drank a lot, so I was like, well, this isn't really working. But it was a weird fucking kids movie, man. It was really strange. Did you watch it, JP?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
No, it was fucking strange, man. I was like, shit. But it could have been the booze though too. So, but I don't think so. I think it was actually a weird narrative. It was strange. But yeah, that's pretty much all I watched this entire week, man. It was a tough week.
Dude, it's so funny. Every time we record, I like instantly want to watch movies like afterwards. Like I get pumped to watch stuff after we record. It's so weird.
It's kind of fun though, like prepping for so many shows at one time. Because now we can talk about the 11s and the 23s, and now we got all this other stuff to talk about and shit. Now Christmas season and shit. So, but
yeah,
I'm definitely.
I've been like
movie tonight.
I've been doing. Like I've been watching this actually. Lately, I haven't been watching a lot of Christmas movies during Christmas because I'm always like prepping for shit. So like me and Carly were talking, I was like, I'm gonna make a point to actually watch Christmas movies this year. Like I always get a couple in, but I used to do like 20 or so in the Christmas season, 24, 25.
Oh shit, man! I would watch like 50, man. Those years. Yeah. It was just ridiculous how many I'd watch, man.
But I mean, I mix in TV shows and stuff too.
Right. Yeah, I barely ever watch
like
TV
episodes and stuff.
My TV is sports. I watch a lot of sports. So
yeah, me too. But the whole like I did Ernest Saves Christmas, man. I haven't watched that in so long.
I watched it.
It's like just as fun as Halloween.
I think I watched it last year again. Yeah, I think I did. I think I popped it in last year. Yeah, it's still fun. It's goofy. It's goofy fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, the Bloody Disgusting put out this article recently about I think just a couple days ago. It's like 50 new horror movies that are releasing this week, including 4 Christmas films. But like, the reason why
they do that like every week. I actually love those articles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do actually. I barely ever go to Bloody Disgusting anymore.
They started that this year, I think. There's also a Twitter account.
I was on here a few months ago and I noticed that they were doing
upcoming horror.
So they did start it this year because I was on here a few months back and I noticed because I think I was actually looking for
this year.
I think I was looking for 2023 recommendations or whatever. And it's the crunch time and shit. But this first film that they have on here, man, called Devils, it's like a Screambox release. It looks fucking sweet, dude. It's like, it's Face Off meets Freaky Friday when a homicide detective swaps bodies with a serial killer. I'm like, that sounds pretty fucking sweet. So
this was one of the titles that was on Fantasia Fest that I tried to get to. I got COVID right when I was covered in Fantasia this year. So I didn't get to a lot of stuff at all. And it like they've made it harder and harder to actually get shit.
Right.
But this was one of the titles that I wanted to check out.
Yeah, that one
on there, I believe.
Looks fucking sweet. And then this Draft House Films one looks pretty cool, man. Everybody Will Burn. Fuck, looks pretty cool, man. So it's like brought the apocalyptic supernatural horror film. That sounds pretty cool.
I keep meaning to look at these every week because I like that they started doing those articles. And then also they have a Twitter account that they just started like in the last year or so called like Upcoming Horror or something. And it like every day they post like what's new out and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, this is super handy.
It's really handy for keeping up.
Yeah, well, for people that are prepping and shit like that, it's nice because it tells you like the movie, who's releasing it, like what platform it's on and shit. I'm like, so like this next movie right here, it's called Nightmare on 34th Street. Of course, in the year that we get a film called It's a Wonderful Knife, we get Nightmare on 34th Street. But it made me laugh. It's just being released on digital, but it's released by Wild Eye Releasing. So, that's going to be some low budget shit right there.
I don't trust it.
But yeah, and then
there's another one called The Creature Was Stirring. I think that comes out soon.
Okay.
I just wish there was like less like other great movies coming out too. I'm gonna have to like cram between like this and 2023's.
That's interesting.
There's like my most 2 anticipated 2023 movies still haven't come out this year.
Oh, that's interesting because this one. Okay, this movie.
Like they're not horror movies.
Oh,
yeah.
This is interesting. This there's something in the barn. We just talked about it, but it says traditions die hard in this Norwegian holiday horror film. That's so funny. I thought it was Finnish, but okay, whatever. This says it's Norwegian, but whatever. I got to check it out, man. I'm glad that you talked about it because I wanted to hear someone talk about it, like because if it was going to be super like goofy.
Yeah, I got a screener actually.
Yeah, that one's a little higher on my list for the guy.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I've just kind of like a couple days ago, I kind of just searched like top lists of the year for both 2011s and 23s as much as I could find, and that is one 2023 movie I saw popping up a couple of times.
What is?
There's something in the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on a few different lists and shit like that too. This is interesting, man. So like, man, every platform. We got a movie called Black Mold, and it's debuting on Tubi. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
No, dude. Listen, Tubi. If you go to their like, I did this the other day. If you go to their like originals and exclusives section, they have like dozens of movies. I was like, I had no clue that Tubi was doing all this.
That's crazy. Man.
But they're all like,
Tubi's
from
kind
what
of
I
gas.
understand, they're very Tubi. Like they're what you would expect for Tubi. Like they did 2 Terror Train movies last year. Remember those at the end of the year?
Those were exclusive to Tubi's. That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one that I do remember hearing about. I might check that out just to see what it looks like.
Yeah,
Tubi.
I mean, it looks okay. Then there's another one here that's coming to Netflix called Naga. I guess it had its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival back in September, and it's coming to Netflix on Thursday, which is like a couple days ago, so it's already on there. Another VOD release, Lord of Misrule. I don't know what that is right there. The fuck is this one? The Cello. Another movie called The Cello? What the fuck? Oh, it's the new Darren Lynn Bousman film.
Oh, okay. I'll watch that then. He's credible.
Interesting. Okay,
Anytime
so yeah,
I see someone credible directed something, like I always watch it.
so it says this will get a release here in North America on Friday, December 8th. So maybe it's theatrical. It tells the story of a cellist who finds out his new cello comes with centuries old curse. Okay, cursed cello. That sounds interesting.
Kind of does. I mean, hey, like Oculus was a cursed mirror, and I like that movie a lot. So like,
Yeah, Oculus is cool.
I'm okay. Anything that like the cool thing about like these items, like movies like that, like a cello or something, is like it's just the idea that there's like history attached to like who else touched this before you. That it kind of does open itself up for like a really cool like cursed horror movie.
Oh, this is interesting here. The new Yorgos Lanthimos, the guy that did The Killing of a Sacred Deer, Dogtooth. It's a new movie called Poor Things. It's a Frankenstein like tale based on the 92 novel.
Right. Calling that a horror movie is going to be a stress. That's one of my
It's starring William Dafoe. It's got William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe and Emma Stone, I think.
Yeah, and Emma Stone. Yeah, crazy.
Why is it calling it a horror movie?
It's like a fantasy drama.
You watched it?
No, but like I know
Melly.
some people that have seen it, but it's like I've never heard it mentioned in the breath or promoted as a horror movie until like literally right now.
It's so like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, man. Ugh.
Yeah, it does. Like, it is a reanimation thing. I'm gonna see it like literally like the day it comes out. So
it's out already. I mean,
well, it's out, but it's like it's only out if you live in like New York or California.
It'll
Netflix. Be out. Poor Things isn't on Netflix.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that movie called Naga.
No, we're talking about Poor Things, the Yorgos movie.
Poor Things. Yeah.
Yeah, the Yorgos movie.
Says it starts bringing it to theaters on Friday, December 8th. So it just hit theaters. I don't know if that's
like
wide release.
December 8th, but
yeah.
It's like the market's like New York and like and like California, from what I understand. But most places will get it like the 21st.
This one sounds pretty cool, man. Eileen. It's got Anne Hathaway in it. It's described as a wild Hitchcockian noir. That's kind of interesting. So it's set during
1964 too.
Yeah, 1964. So it's a period piece. It's cool. Now this one just hit. I believe this. Yeah, this is the new one on Shudder, The Sacrifice Game, which is it's set during the Christmas holiday. Yep. So that's kind of cool.
Maybe.
So that one just hit Shudder.
Lot of fucking Christmas.
There's a lot of Christmas movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Because remember we were just saying that. I'm like, where the fuck's all the Christmas movies? They're all coming out this week. So
There's
yeah,
also a period piece.
So this one just hit Netflix. Also, Leave the World Behind. It's the new, fucking so weird, dude. Like Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke movie. What is this like? Post-apocalyptic?
Looks like a post.
Kevin
That's
Bacon.
I was kind of hoping it would be like in the same vein as like Bird Box or something. And like maybe it would still be a horror movie, but I've heard it's not. But I don't know. I keep seeing it also pop up.
apocalypse thrillers. So yeah, it's got Kevin Bacon in it also. It's crazy. That's a fucking wild
I think
cast, man.
it's got Marshall Ali or something, whatever his name is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santa Isn't Real, which is a VOD release. Okay. Another Christmas movie. What's this one? Raging Grace coming to VOD. Shit.
That one's on my radar.
I don't know anything about this one. Nope. And that's pretty much it for the article. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well,
I mean,
that Raging Grace movie won the South by Southwest Grand Jury Award, which I think is good.
Oh, yeah. I know some people that I can't keep track of what festivals I went to, but I know some people that have been to Canes this year and all that shit. So,
damn, dude, they're really fucking trying to pump these bitches out right at the end of the year, man. I just added 10 new movies to my watch.
There's also a ton of other movies coming out too, the Von Erichs movies coming out that I'm really excited for. There's that movie that just came out I still have to watch about the teacher that had sex with her student in the 90s and then had a baby in prison.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of shit coming out. There's
you remember that South Park episode?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's literally what it was like in the 90s. I remember being a kid and sitting to
it's still.
I remember
if one of my friends told me they banged one of our hot teachers, I'd be like,
yeah,
nice.
when you were a kid, oh my god, dude, it's for sure. If you're 12 at that age too, where you're just a raging fucking hard on.
Man, just when you thought the fucking year was at its where it's at, and then there's so many fucking movies that just got added to the watch list. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's all these movies too, just trying to jam in so they can be in Oscars, and I don't know why all these other movies are releasing the last 2 weeks of the year. What the hell? That seems like bad timing.
Yeah. So it's looking pretty promising. Some of those look pretty cool. I don't know. I might check out some of those shitty ass fucking Christmas holiday horror films. I don't know. I'm a sucker for some of those. Some of those are actually pretty decent, in a bad way. They're not a Tyler movie, maybe not a JP movie, but more.
I'll take any Christmas holiday flick except for Slaughter Claus.
Honestly, I can't think of a movie off the top of my head that I don't at least like that's a Christmas horror movie.
Have you seen Slaughter Claus?
I have not.
It might legit be the worst movie ever made. And that is such a high feat to say.
Nope.
It's 2011.
Oh, man.
Is it really? Oh shit! I must have not wrote that one down. Yeah. Crazy,
dude.
I own this movie.
I own it on DVD, bro.
I have the worst movie I've ever seen on Blu-ray. It's a trophy. What year is this?
It's not worse than Slaughter Claus. I'll tell you.
Nothing's worse than Slaughter Claus.
There's a part where they shoot directly into the sun.
Nice.
There's a part what?
They take their camera and they go to film something, film a person talking from the ground up, and they just shoot directly into the sun. So you just see some guy talking with the sun shooting in your face.
Yeah, but have you seen Slaughter Claus?
I have not.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Slaughter Claus is fucking. You can't even describe it. So bad. It's so bad.
This movie's 2014. It saved itself.
Yeah.
Slaughter Claus.
You know what's really fucking weird? So, the last bunch of shows and shit, I've been reading out these top 10 lists and shit. I could not find a legit top 10 or any top list for Killer Cats.
Yeah, because it's all movies that just feature cats.
It's usually just features, or you'll find a list of the scariest felines in horror films, and every list has fucking church on it and stuff. And you're like, fuck, man, is there just and I was going back through my vaults, the top 10 Tuesday videos. I never even did one either. So maybe there wasn't.
That's because I don't know if there is 10. If you don't count lions and tigers and stuff,
there's definitely.
Oh no, there's definitely 10 because there's the black cat has done a ton of times.
Are they killer cats though?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. You say cat horror movies, there's House, which is I would top the head. I would say is the best cat horror movie, but it's not a killer.
Right.
But it's not a killer cat movie.
If you're talking about movies that horror movies that feature cats, yeah,
you have to 10. Use.
Oh,
if you're talking specifically, because all three of these movies that we watched tonight, except for maybe the second one. Or wait, what's the second one?
The second one counts.
Uninvited.
Uninvited.
Because it's
movie.
Technically it's a.
Technically, it's not a cat.
It's the cat and
it is a cat.
Parasitic relationship.
Cat and the cat.
So I did
But,
find one. What's that?
okay.
There's two.
I was
cat
gonna say
people.
there's not that many killer cat movies.
There's two cat people. Does that count?
Yeah, like I'm not trying to
No,
count
'cause
tigers
it's
and
like
like
leopards.
lions and tigers and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of those.
We're
movies.
talking house cats here.
Yeah,
Well, and-
like straight up house cat, killer cat movies. Man. It's
One
rarer
thing
than
these
you
movies
think.
definitely show me is it's incredibly difficult to make cats look like intimidating.
Well, I was thinking about that, and that's actually the reason I was gonna bring that up too. I was gonna be like, man, there's so many killer dog movies out there because dogs are easier to train, probably a lot easier to film and stuff like that. Where cats
And
are
they just look scarier too. Like you can realistically, like a dog can realistically bark down the door and like tear it down and actually fucking kill you. Like, what is a cat gonna do? Scratch you once?
pretty much. But yeah, so this one's coming from liveabout.com or liveabout.com. And it's called 9 Exceedingly Creepy Cat Movies. So not even killer cats. It's just 9 exceedingly creepy cat movies, which I do like that they did 9 because cats have 9 lives. So that's kind of cool. It's not numbered, but it starts out with The Black Cat from 1981, which is Lucio Fulci's film. That's cool. I like that version of the story. 1942 is Cat People. Are you a fan of this one, Tyler? Have you seen Cat People before?
Yeah, I like it. I think I get like kind of like a 7 out of 5 range.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
It's pretty
movie
good.
too, man.
I
I like it. I like it better than the remake.
I honestly like the remake more, which would probably surprise some people.
Yeah, I don't. Not me.
I like the Schrader cinematography. I like the way he uses like David Bowie, like the David Bowie song.
We did an OG verse remake on this, didn't we, JP?
You did.
Yeah. Super fucking boring show.
I think I actually do prefer the Paul Schrader one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot different.
It,
It's very stylistic. It's very stylized.
that one is good though. The guy that made that movie, Jacques Tourneur, I like him in general as a filmmaker. He made a bunch of like really solid hammer type, like I don't know if they're all Hammer movies, but I'm just gonna say like Hammer style horror movies like in that era. And he made a couple of really good westerns too.
The list goes fucking haywire here. So they put Cat's Eye on here, and it's definitely not a killer cat movie. It's just told from the perspective of cats and shit. I think mostly.
I think the only thing the cat does kill the troll. I think so.
Right, but I mean, it's not a killer cat film anthology. It's just
it's definitely not a killer cat film.
Then we got 1969's Eye of the Cat. Have you guys ever seen this one?
No, but is that one an actual killer cat movie though?
It has cats in it that it's not really. No, it's not straight up like psychotic killer cats or mutated or feral cats. It's more like, I think this one they're more protecting. Yeah, I own this movie. I've seen it before. I think it's more they're protecting the owner and stuff like that. Like something happens or some shit. It's not like a Uninvited, like a fucking cat slasher film. It's not like that.
I think we could technically do a volume 2. I think there's enough movies to do 3 more.
For sure. I mean, we could even do the Corpse Grinder. Fucking
well, that's the
trilogy.
one I was thinking of.
That's a trilogy.
I've never seen the sequels.
Yeah, I've never actually seen part 2 or 3 either. I don't even own the third one. But yeah, Ted B. Michaels didn't direct the third one. He only did the first and second one. And that's a weird thing too, because the first movie came out like early 70s, like 71. And then he put out the sequel like it was like 29 years later. Like how fucking random is that? Anyways, Tyler, House 1977. They put House on the list, 1977.
I love that movie.
It's got that crazy cat scene. Yeah, this movie's so unhinged and so set in.
It's just so bizarre and it's just so unique. It just feels like an anime movie, like smashed into 18 other things. Fun fact about this movie, like whatever they told, like I don't know what disconnect the producers had to come up with this, but they saw Jaws and they were like, we want our version of Jaws, and this is what they did.
Right. Yeah, like I love the writer that says an assault on the senses, and I'm like, it totally is, man. Because this movie,
this is the most crazy editing I've ever seen in any movie.
Let me ask you something.
You know what's kind of weird, Moodz? Not to cut you off, but Ted V. Michaels, he did, like you said, the Corpse Grinders in like 71, and then in 2002 he did Corpse Grinders 2.
Yeah, 2002. I said 2000.
Well,
yeah, it's
he
even
also
later.
did that 1968 or whatever. He did Astro Zombies, and then 2004 he did sequel to Astro Zombies.
That's so crazy.
Dude,
yeah, let me
there's
ask.
4 Astro Zombie movies. Jesus.
Let me ask you something, Tyler.
Sounds like a Rob Zombie song.
This will prove if you're the most pretentious person that has ever been on the show. Can you make any sense of House or Housey or however
No.
you want to pronounce it?
It's just random shit.
Okay,
I have no idea what it means, but I like the imagery. I like the music. I like how it just turns into like an anime movie with goofy music and all the time. It doesn't mean anything. It's
no, it doesn't.
Over the top editing style.
I've watched House a few times, and it always makes me laugh because the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking to myself, going, "There's fucking assholes out there that are like." That'll tell you right to your face that House makes sense, and they'll come up with like theory, like this is what it's about.
No,
I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm like,
part of the thing.
even David
like
Lynch David Lynch has said many times in interviews that fucking Eraserhead doesn't mean shit. It was literally just a collection of shit that he put together, and like there's no cohesive narrative.
He's been trolling people about that for years. There's like
is trolling.
There's a very famous interview where someone's like, where he says something like, "Oh, I think Eraserhead is my most spiritual film," and they go like, "Oh, can you elaborate?" And he just goes, "No."
It was a fucking college movie. It's a fucking goddamn college.
I don't think House is supposed to. It's like he literally did it over like 4 years, and like that guy Jack Nance is just psychotic. He's like, "Yeah, I'll just play this part for as long as you need me to."
It took him like
just,
7 years. It took him like
that.
6-7 years to put that movie together.
Yeah, I have the criterion of it, and I've watched all the special features on it. And there's literally a scene in the movie where like Henry opens a door. And then it's over a year from that point before they ever filmed what was on the other side of the door.
Yeah, because he was also building all the sets and shit, and like it was a college project and shit.
Yeah, he was basically in college to use their resources, and whenever he got money, he threw it into Eraserhead.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think I have the same edition. I think I watched all the features on it too. I just thought it was super interesting, but it's like from the mind of a deranged fucking lunatic though, man. Like the shit that he came up with is so cool.
Like you can honestly, like I think Eraserhead is a more like decipherable film than this. Like you can at least see like broader themes of just about fear and like about death. Like this is just over the top editing and it's just like stylistic fun. Like nobody's trying. Yeah. It's like this isn't even like a new concept. Like there's so many movies like prior to this where it's just like the same thing. It's over edited like nonsense, like with some sort of like broad political input, like implication.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for you to take away from what you think of it. And that's part of like the beauty of like these movies. And I think like some people, it's the same, like you guys probably haven't experienced this, but if you ever go to like an art house theater and like watch like a really well regarded movie, if they especially if it's a foreign film, if the movie has like the slightest hint of comedy, you will get people around you with the most loudest forced laughter that it like you could, and it's so fucking annoying because they just need to show everyone that they're fucking smart enough and they get that this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
There's this movie called In the Mood for Love. If anybody's heard of it, it's a Hong Kong romance movie. It's a very well regarded like masterpiece of a film. It's from the year 2000, and I saw it in theaters a couple months ago. And there's like the very like a joke that you would never laugh at if you were sitting at home. It's a very like serious like somber movie, and you would have thought you were showing like Billy Madison to a room of 12-year-olds for the first time in 1998. How hard that audience is laughing. It was so
I hate that shit. I hate those uncomfortable laughs when when you're sitting in a theater and like there's like a minor joke and people have to like let loose and laugh so hard.
And like it was so forced because you would never
why?
fucking laugh at this if you were alone in your house. You're just showing all your fucking. It was a packed room. Like you were showing all your college. Like it's a college town.
I feel embarrassed at times when people do that shit. I'm like,
it's it's literally like one of like a top 10 favorite movie for me, and I was so annoyed because like it just every time there was the tiniest bit of humor, these people were cackling like hyenas, and there was other people in the theater that were like, oh, I gotta laugh too, and would send these ripples of laughter like way after the fact that were so forced, and it was so fucking cringe.
Yeah, that's super cringe. I know exactly what you're talking about. I hate that shit, man. Yeah, okay, next one on the list is Pet Sematary. Of course, like I said, every one of these lists has Pet Sematary on it. Then we got Sleepwalkers, some more Stephen King. 1992. Look what you did to my shirt, bitch. I love that line. It always makes me fucking laugh.
Dude,
when she stabs him in
Like,
in the eye with
Sleepwalkers
the
is one
fork.
of those movies that I'm never gonna like say like this is a great movie, but like it's fun. Like it's kind of cool.
I love that part, man. She stabs him in
Stephen
the eye.
King
Look what you
Volume
did to
2,
my
we're
shirt,
doing
bitch.
Sleepwalkers, bro.
What's
I
that?
love Sleepwalker.
Yeah, I
Since
like
Stephen
Stephen
King Volume 2, we're doing
If you do a
Sleepwalkers.
Stephen King Volume 2, we gotta do Apt Pupil. It's like the most underrated Stephen King
It's not a
movie.
horror movie, though, really.
You don't think Apt Pupil's a horror movie?
I don't know.
What?
I've never seen it. The book, I
Nah.
don't think the book
It's
is.
like-
I mean, it's got
it's-
elements. It's got that whole Nazi element to it and shit. It's like
It's like if In a Glass Cage is a horror movie, Apt Pupil's a horror movie.
In the Glass Cage is brutal,
Okay.
man.
Um,
And
yeah,
so-
I do want to see that. Jeremy reviewed it on here.
It's very good, and nobody ever talks about it. That's why, like, it's not the best Stephen King movie by any
No,
stretch,
no.
like Stephen King horror movie, but it's good and it never gets talked about.
Yeah, I
Same
like
with
it.
Storm of the Century.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen Storm of the Century.
Nobody ever
Um,
talks about it.
Yeah, for good reasons.
What? Are you serious?
I'm just fucking with you.
I was about to say it's like one of my favorite Stephen King movies, dude.
I like it. No, it's good. Then up next is The Uncanny from 1977. We'll be talking about that in a minute. And then Uninvited from 1988. And that's actually the end of the list. It says a few more whisker heavy tales of terror. Bloodfest from 1972. The Corpse Grinders from 71. Crimes of the Black Cat from 1972. Shadow of the Cat 61. Strays 1991. Well, there's the trifecta. Tales of the Dark Side, the movie. It's the story of the cat from hell, of course. And then it has the Tomb of Lygia listed in here too, which has cats in it too. But yeah, none of these are really that killer cat.
The original Black Cat story.
Yeah, the original Black Cat story
Yeah,
is like
killer
super
cats
dark.
are hard to do.
Yeah, the one
That's
from
like
30.
if you just count the Black Cat story, you can definitely fill out a top 10.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Jeffrey Combs Masters of Horror episode. That one's really good, man.
There's just so many. Your vice is a locked door, and only I have the key.
Well, there's so many versions
Room.
of just the Black Cat. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many, and there's so many different like plays on it, and like it's just such a good story. Like,
I love the Bela Lugosi, like Boris Karloff one, man. That story is so fucking dark. Like for the time that it was made, man, like that's a dark version of that story. Man.
Yeah, that's like that one's really that's like 31, right?
Yeah, dude, it's shocking. I think we talked about it on here. It's shocking that they did that in that time period too, because like that type of cinema was so relatively new. Like I don't know, man. It was just crazy. I still think it was just ahead of its time for the darkness of it and shit. Because it kind of put a spin on the story, right? Which I thought was kind of cool. So, but yeah. So that's the quote unquote killer cat list right there. Fuck. I was shocked, dude, when I was like Googling. I was like, there's really not one list. Like I found a ton of lists with like Prey on it and stuff, like, you know, the Tiger movie and shit. And I'm like, there's tons of movies like
I've
that.
seen a
out there.
bunch of those too.
Yeah, and I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
if you
Like,
keep the tiger.
yeah, like I'm like fucking with tigers and shit. I'm like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, some of the lists were so ridiculous. I was like, I'm not even going there. So, but that was kind of probably one of the more closer ones.
Oh, I got one.
So.
Feliday.
Yeah, the animated
that's
movie.
movies on like that's on like on my cult list.
You will love that movie. Did
That
you
movie-
see it before?
It's
No,
great.
but like I know
It's
about it, and like
You'll
it just
love
like,
it.
clicked in my head.
Yeah, you'll love that one because it's literally like an animated Giallo, bro.
Dude,
Oh,
it's
that's
really
awesome.
good. It's really good, man. Yeah.
It made my top 10.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
good. man.
94.
It,
Michael
it needs
Schrock.
it needs a re-release, man. It needs to get a really good release.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to
Speaking
find.
of
right now.
top 10s, I did put up 3 top 10s on the website.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
getting caught
awesome,
up.
man. That's awesome. You get them on that list yet? Like,
I
when
can
you
do it
click.
right now. Takes like 2 seconds.
It was very polite of you to pick the most flattering picture of me possible.
Did I?
Yeah.
Or are you being sarcastic?
No. That picture's like 7 years old when I was still cute.
Yeah, I always try to get pictures that people look good.
Yeah, that's why I was cute.
Nice.
Like it pissed me off though because Dave Z like took all his pictures off Facebook or some shit. So like I literally the one that I had the 90, I think it was 94 maybe. I literally put, or no, he didn't do 94. It was 80. I had to put a picture of of it. Just it says exploding heads or something because I couldn't find a picture of Dave Z anymore. And my laptop, because I used to save the pictures I used for these, but as you guys know, my laptop from last year or about a year ago, about like 7 months ago, my laptop fucking died on me and I lost everything that was on there. So that's been like a pain.
Yeah, it's savage, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyways, I guess we should probably move into these killer cat reviews and conclude this intro because I feel like it's been going on for at least an hour and a half. But yeah, so that's the intro, and we'll be back with you guys in 1 minute.
Yo, who this?
Yo, Moodz, it's your boy, the ill-mannered funky child, calling you to remind you that the featured reviews on this episode contain spoilers.
Aw, yeah, man, that's right, brother. Thanks for the heads up, playa. Now go back to being an unproductive asshole.
Fuck you. I tell your listeners to stop being so dumb, silly, sensitive.
Yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so getting into the featured reviews here on episode 248, Killer Cats. Yeah, we're going to take it all the way back to 1977 with the Canadian / English co-production of The Canny. Of course, starring... Did I say The Canny? The Uncanny?
Yeah.
Did I say The Canny? Wow, crazy. Oh, there's a tongue slip. The Uncanny. Forgot the un part. Yeah, of course, starring our man Peter Cushing, Ray Milland, who are basically just in the wraparound story and stuff.
DP.
Who's that?
DP. Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance is in it. Yep.
Yeah, cast is
I thought you said DP. Oh, you did say DP.
I did.
I love these like old movies that like these older like career movies that Ray Milland shows up when he just needed a buck. It's awesome.
Well,
DP got some like brown hair going on.
I think GP just loves being in movies.
Ray Milland was a soldier here, though, man, because like, so Peter Cushing at this stage in his career was like not traveling and shit. So this movie was all the segments were filmed in Quebec, right? It's totally Canadian film, directed by Dennis Herox or however you want to pronounce. He did that Born for Hell film about Richard Speck, you know, the one that he killed all the nurses and shit like that. Severin actually released that movie along with this one too. That's what I knew the name from anyways. But yeah, Peter Cushing wasn't traveling at the time. So his scenes were actually shot back home in England. So Ray Milland just took the opportunity to go out there and do the scenes with Peter Cushing in England because he went out there to visit family and shit like that. I read it's pretty fucking sweet. So pretty cool. But yeah, so everything was actually shot in Quebec. So, but yeah, anyways, quick little synopsis here. Wilbur Gray, played by Peter Cushing, a horror writer, has stumbled upon a terrible secret that cats are supernatural creatures who really call the shots. In a desperate attempt to get others to believe him, Wilbur spews 3 tales of feline horror. So yeah, that's basically what our wraparound story is. Peter Cushing, this writer, he's trying to sell his book to Ray Milland, who's a publisher. And he has this theory that cats are fucking, you know, actually controlling shit and stuff like that. Like we're actually the puppets and he needs to basically prove to Ray Milland's character that, you know, his theory is true, or else he's not really going to publish the book because he doesn't think that people will believe it, and it's just a bunch of garbage and nonsense and stuff like that. So, anyways, they get into the first story that he tries to prove of his feline theory, which I don't think they're not actually titled, are they? They're not actually titled.
No, they don't have titles.
The stories.
Which annoys me. I hate when when shorts don't.
I think they just have like cities, right?
Yeah,
cities.
The first one,
cities and years.
Yeah, so this one jumps around. So the first one takes place in 1912 London, so it's like a period piece. And it's basically about this rich aunt who has written a new will, and she's left out her nephew, and she's leaving everything to her feline friends, her pack of cats, because she's that typical white rich woman that has like 45 cats. Like only a rich white woman would leave her fucking total $1 million fortune to fucking a bunch of cats. So anyways,
that's what's gonna happen to my mom if my dad dies before her.
right. So anyways, this guy, the nephew's girlfriend, she works in the house. She's like a caretaker or nanny or whatever. She shows him the will, a copy of the will, and he kind of like, what the fuck is this kind of shit? Anyways, it devised this plan to basically kill the aunt. And so anyways, the cats, according to Peter Cushing's character, are they're smarter than they appear to be, but yeah, so then shit goes down from there. So it's a short, can't give everything away, but I'm sure most people have probably seen the Uncanny by now.
Actually, this was a first time watch for me.
Oh, really?
Also a first time watch for me.
Crazy.
All three of these.
I'd actually had all three of these movies logged in my Letterboxd, so I'd watched them at least in the last couple of years. So I have no idea. It's fucking so weird.
I mean, I had 2 of them logged, but I've been logging stuff since 2011. So
yeah. So
I almost bought the Uncanny like 2 months ago because it was cheap on Vinegar Syndrome, but didn't have its slipcover. So I was like, I don't want it. Fuck
no,
it.
you should. I have it without the slipcover.
What the Uncanny?
it was one of those things where like I made a card.
Uninvited.
Yeah.
Oh, the Uninvited.
No,
yeah.
Uninvited. Yeah. It was one of those things. So like, you ever make a cart and it's just like, and then once you like look at the total, like, okay, yeah, I'm not buying all these movies, and you have to make your cuts.
Yeah, I do that every time. What I do if like Kino or something has a sale, I just go through and put everything that I'm remotely interested in the cart, and then I look at which ones I already bought, because I do that all the time too. Which Kino is like the only site that tells you if you've previously bought something. I fucking love that feature.
Well, on Vinegar Syndrome, you can make, there is a checklist.
Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome, it does too.
Yeah.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really buy vinegar. I never have that problem with Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. I don't buy enough Vinegar Syndrome, and if it's so goddamn expensive that I'm gonna remember it.
Yeah.
I have way too much. Oh my god.
I what the fuck were we even talking about?
How Kino tells you if you bought something.
Oh yeah, I just put a bunch of shit in my cart, and then I go through and I'm like, yeah, $500. Okay, let's make some cuts.
Yeah. I do the same thing
with Kino. With Kino specifically, I do that.
Yeah.
And like, oh, man, dude, like this sale that's going on still right now is not that good, but the one last time was crazy. Like,
I haven't bought from Kino in a while because they stopped doing PAM4.
It's tough. It's tough with Kino to keep your order down because they release so much stuff from like different genres and shit. That's all like, I love Westerns, right? And I love noirs, and I love fucking horror, and I love action, like exploitation. Like they release all this shit. So I'm just like, Kino. I'm like, my God, never ends, man. So like, yeah, that happens to me too. I'll put a bunch of shit in my cart, and it's like $798 on sale items. And I'm like, on sale, I'm looking at $800 worth of movies. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. What am I doing?
So they're gonna have some heat coming to 4K in 2024 with that Paramount deal they signed. They're gonna have some good shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wonder what they're like. There's so many. There is a lot of Paramount titles.
Oh, there's so many that never even saw the light of Blu-ray. I don't think
they're just like the movies they're putting out on 4K right now. Like they're putting out so many good like classic westerns and just like movies from like great directors on 4K that like no one else probably would.
Yeah. Anyways, 22 shots of fucking tangent and horror right there. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Uncanny? Well, the first story. Anyways.
All right, so the first story, what? That's the
I just explained it. The fucking
that's the one where like with the rich lady's gonna give everything away to her cats.
I literally just explained this whole fucking thing 2 minutes ago. Like that tangent made you guys forget.
What are you trying to say?
The tangent was so long that the tangent was so long that you guys forgot that I just explained that whole thing.
I remember.
No, I just recapped it.
Okay.
In like one sentence.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, so this one. What in the is this what is she eating in that scene? That was bugging me.
Oh, out of that jar when she gets locked in the pantry?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's some type of weird cat fucking food.
I was thinking, is it just cat food?
I assumed it was cat food because like
it looks like diarrhea.
She has 84 cats, so like of course she has like a fucking pantry full of cat food.
There is a scene before that where the old lady is actually feeding, like she scoops out that fucking diarrhea looking shit and feeds it to her cat. So it's gotta be cat food.
I must not have paid attention whenever.
I just couldn't get over it. Like when she gets locked in the pantry, I'm like, how the fuck is there no food in this pantry that's massive? And like it like she's rich, she has no fucking food except for like shitty cat food.
She loves her cats.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like not even baking shit, like flour and shit. I'm like, that's just strange.
It's a pretty simple story of like EC comic type stuff.
Yeah.
Which you typically got with anthology films around this time. But I thought it was kind of creepy. There's some creepy gore effects in there for what, 77? I guess gore was out more in 77. What'd you think?
I thought one thing this short in general highlighted to me was how difficult it must be to make cats like actually look like it's like threatening.
Mhm.
I thought it was okay. Like there's not like a whole lot of meat to it. It's like a fine story, but I just felt like the cat payoff was like so ridiculous that like it was like harsh. It's like it just highlights me like, man, it's really hard to make cats threatening. They did it better in the other stories, but I honestly thought this was the weakest one.
All right. Yeah, there's one thing I'm trying to find it here. It doesn't have it in the factoid part of this, but or in the do you know section, but I know this was the first film that was made by the guy that the producer from Amicus Video, like after Amicus folded. This was the very first film that he made after. It's a production company's Sin Video or whatever. Yeah, this was like the first movie that he'd made after the Amicus days, hence it being an anthology film, right? So, and Peter Cushing and shit like that. So I thought I'd note that because a lot of people, I've heard people think, even say this is an Amicus film. It basically kind of is, but it's not released by Amicus Studios. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That was a really long pause.
I was just thinking.
Did you hear what I said?
I was thinking about.
Or did you guys know that? Like, you guys have
No, I
the
didn't
most
know
awkward
that.
pauses sometimes.
No,
ever.
I didn't know that. But I was just thinking of Amicus movies as well.
Oh, Amicus was known for doing all their anthologies and shit, right? So, and that's what, like, after the company folded, he went and did another anthology film.
Honestly, like anthologies usually, for the most part, unless it's way too long, usually are at least like okay.
I love anthologies because they're, even if you don't like something, it's over in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like, even that's the thing is like I like overall I thought this was like okay, but like there's high points of this like movie I'll remember because it's an anthology and like it gives you like 3 opportunities to like have me something to remember it by.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's these are my favorite type of anthology films, that when they're not just a collection of shorts, like this actually has a legit wraparound. Like it starts out with the story and in between every short, it goes back into it and then it wraps around and stuff. Like these are true anthology films. It always drives me nuts when people are like, this is a good anthology.
Yeah, you know what?
It's a collection of shorts, bro. It's not.
Dave, yeah, right. Those are the worst. The ones that are just a collection of shorts.
Yeah.
But Davies's theory, I think, is really actually accurate. The theory that anthologies work better when it's the same director through all the segments.
Which this is the same. This is the same director.
Yeah, I think. I think that is like Davesy comes up with a lot of his Davesy methods and stuff like that, and most of the time I think they're silly. But this one actually, I feel like is pretty legit. The theory.
I agree with that, and I think the strongest like piece of evidence is ABCs of Death, because they give it to all these people. People like have varying levels of enthusiasm about it. People have varying levels of skill, and that's why like you can watch like a 26 short episode where like 10 are good, like 8 like 10 are good, like 10 are okay, and 6 are fucking terrible.
Right.
Yeah. But I think I like anthologies in general.
If you have one collective vision, like from one person of how you want this to wrap around, how you want these stories to relate, like, I think Dave's definitely right about that.
No, 100%. I mean, I think it still would work though. Like if you have multiple directors doing the shorts, but you have one person that's doing like overseeing it, but also doing the wraparound story too. So you can, have an input and, make sure everything kind of makes sense.
And also like matters on the talent level of directors. Like another example that does support like talent level argument is like 3 Extremes.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a great example of a collection of short films.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's from all strong directors. Where it's not just like a mismatch of who got to be on it.
Have you ever watched the
like,
full length
pieces.
version of Dumplings?
I don't know if I have.
Man,
honestly.
yeah, it's on the DVD. It actually has a special feature where it's got the full length movie. It's like a 90-minute movie of watching people munch on fucking fetuses. It's fucking disgusting. I love it because that's what Dumplings is.
That sounds so Japanese. It hurts.
Oh my god, dude! It's like Dumplings is the nastiest idea ever, but it's like it's just absorbing like the lore of like, you know, there's lots of cultures and shit I think that have kind of oversaw this idea of like eating fetuses and shit will give you like eternal youth and shit like that, and maybe like certain powers and like, you know, longevity and like all these certain things that have been explored in these lores and stuff like that. But like just some grinding up like baby fetuses and making dumplings out of them. It's like, ugh, fuck.
Fucking gnarly.
Fucking nasty, dude. But like, yeah, so it gets more in depth into the 90 minutes.
Anything with like eating grosses me out.
Yeah, Milton.
I've seen some Japanese movies that were with eating.
Like, you guys ever see that anthology? Actually, it's 2011, The Theater Bazaar.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna rewatch it for the show, but I remember being like, just
I never picked up the Blu-ray. I have the DVD. I just remember not liking it, but that's why I never upgraded.
It's all right. It's well, there's a couple. It's like a classic example of like some good, some bad.
Right. Right.
Segments, but there's one in I think it's like the last segment called Sweets, and it's about like food fetishes, and it grosses the fuck out of me, dude.
Right.
I've seen a Japanese movie where someone sticks an egg up their pussy and takes it out, and someone takes a bite.
Nice.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, the guy I was trying to think of was Milton Saponsky, whatever. He's the dude that had formed Amicus Video or Amicus Studios and stuff, and then went off and did this shit. So yeah, he was one of the guys that did that shit anyways. But
so what do you think of the first segment, Moodz?
I don't mind the first one. It's so short, it's so basic and stuff. It's like I do enjoy, like, you know, when the cats are kind of mowing on the bodies and shit like that. I think that's kind of cool.
It's creepy.
It is creepy, and it's realistic though too, because if
fun facts, cats will eat you faster than dogs.
Yeah. If you die in your bed and you got that many cats, you're going to be obliterated in fucking 2 days.
Do you know what the first thing the cats will eat?
Your eyes.
Nose.
Your eyes. Yeah.
Oh, that's so wrong. I'm closing my eyes when I die.
Like literally as soon as they get really hungry, they'll do it. Like the loyalty is not there, like a dog. Like, I don't want to eat this thing.
There's certain species of dogs that actually won't even eat you if they would starve to death before they ate you. Well, certain species, most species will eat you when they're hungry enough. Which, hey, if you're hungry enough, it's just cats are disrespectful because they start picking at you before they got food in their bowl and they're picking at your face.
I don't know. I never met this person. I don't actually even know their name, but there's somebody like in the professional world that like I have like some degree of relation to, that like years ago, like their wife took their company card, ran up a bunch of money, and then like divorced him and like ran away, and he got fired for it, and he killed himself, and his dog ate him before anyone found out.
That's pretty tragic.
That's a gnarly story, man. That's a gnarly story.
So dogs will get hungry.
Yeah,
man, this is why cat people freak me out, dude. Like have you ever met somebody that has like fucking like 46 dogs?
My great grandma,
had 46 dogs. Cats. Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's a lot to take care of.
Have you ever met somebody that has like that abundance of dogs? No, because dog people are a little bit more, I think, grounded in reality and don't need 46 fucking cats. I don't know. I just what the fuck is the story with that? Explain that shit to me.
I don't know.
Why do
my great grandmother
so
was
many
a
damn
stray
cats?
Cat lady. She just didn't like getting like if they got like she would strays. Like she'd take in strays and they weren't fixed or anything, and they would multiply, and then she would just keep them.
But this is my point, though. This is exactly my point. Like you don't see people taking stray dogs off the streets and end up with like 45 dogs.
Well, that's because dogs.
Dogs are dangerous. Yeah, and dogs are like dangerous. Like compared to cats, not that like stray cats can't be dangerous. But, like you also like it's way more maintenance. Like you can just like feed the cats and like give them.
Yeah, cats are known for being independent too.
Cats actually form packs too. Like when they get into like 3-4 and stuff like that, they become super vicious when they become.
I knew this woman. I think I may have mentioned this on the show at some point in the history, but I knew this woman. named Carol, and she had like an animal rescue organization. And her house, she had one. It was a big house, but it was a duplex at one point. So it was like two sides. The one side was all cats, bro. I remember going over in there for the first time and being so genuinely scared because first of all, they were mean cats because they weren't around people a lot.
They're like feral cats, like she took in and stuff, right?
Yeah, and like. I remember standing in this giant living room. I wouldn't go over there. There's like a staircase, and I remember noticing a cat like so often. Like I would be staring right at one because there were so many, but I didn't notice it. And then I would notice it. I would see its eyes or something, and it would scare the hell out of me because they just blended in. There were I think there were 38 that I counted. Or something like that.
Oh, that house must have smelled right.
It did smell bad.
That was the first thing I was thinking of, man. It must just stunk.
Ugh. Like that's.
I remember my face instantly was itching.
Like I'm a cat person. I love cats, but like I have 2, and I will not exceed that.
Yeah, like that's fine. Like people that have like a couple cats. Like I mean, a lot of people have multiple animals and shit like that. But I mean, like 40 something, it just seems so wrong.
Like, well, it's like how do you take actually?
Well, it's
like
kind
I
of
hang
abusive at that.
That's
point
the thing
too.
is like I hang out with my cats. Like my cats like sleep in my bed and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that with 40 animals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like ridiculous. But I mean, it works in this type of setting, though. I mean, what's more scarier or than like 1 or 2 cats or 45 cats that lock you in a fucking pen.
When you get like a gang of them and they're all literally feral and like attacking like their
but the thing is about these, they're not feral, they're just protecting their owner because they she's been done wrong, and they're also protecting what they know is coming their way, because according to Peter Cushing. I kind of like that idea though.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I didn't even think about it like that.
Right? They're like, you're not taking my fucking money, man. You're not taking my money, so we're gonna lock you in.
Get out of here, bitch.
Yeah.
This
fun
honestly,
fact.
like that's. Oh, let me hear the fun fact first.
Cats have 18 toes.
I'm gonna count later.
That's random.
18.
That's random.
Not 20. 18. They have 5 in the front paws and 4 in the back paws.
Weird. Yeah, that's interesting. Why would it not be 5 and 5? Like that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. So they can hop, I guess.
Speaking of hop, cats can jump 6 times their length.
That sounds about right. I believe that.
Yeah, so basically, essentially, what happens here, like we just said, the aunt has a demise, and then the cats basically lock this girl in this closet where she runs and hides in this pantry and shit like that, and she's in there for like days and days and shit because the cats are guarding it, and they've got a mind of their own kind of thing, and all these shorts are about the same. Like they're probably they run 25 minutes a piece or something like that. This one I feel like it feels like it actually goes on a little bit too long because it's mostly just her in this, like most of the short is her in this pantry trying to figure out what to eat and shit, and then just scared to come out and stuff. And I don't know, it gets a little bit redundant. It feels a little bit long-winded even for a short. So it's probably my least favorite one out of the 3, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the downfall of the short is like, I think the ending is supposed to kind of be like the big like send off when all the cats are just like beating the shit out of her. And like, it just does not look good.
Yeah. It almost looks like the cats are like when they're.
It looks like
they're jumping for their lives.
Yeah, it just looks like someone's throwing them at her, and like there's literally one where the cat lands on her, and the camera lingers for like just like one Mississippi, and like the cat is like literally standing on her back, like just like, oh, how did I get here?
Yeah,
they're definitely throwing the cats.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's got that ending that you kind of want to it though. I mean, in my opinion, anyways. So
it's just like it stood out to me. It was like, man, this is like it's really hard to actually make these cats. Like it was way easier with the dogs than it is.
And at points, it just looks like they're just jumping.
Yeah,
something
that's what I mean. Like they're supposed to be attacking, and they like throw and they like jump on them and jump off, and like while it like throws on like cat sound effects.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like all scary and gnarly and shit, but it looks like they're just having fun.
Yeah.
Oh man. But anyways, yeah, so that's the first story. It takes place in 1912. Then we go on to the second story, which takes place in, I guess, kind of modern. I mean, the movie is 1977. It says Quebec province, 1975. So
yeah, basically modern.
Basically, the modern story. And this one involves another aunt, which is so weird. Anyways, this little girl gets orphaned. Her parents die, I think, I don't know if they
plane
saved
crash.
Oh, yeah, it's a plane crash. Right. And she gets orphaned, so she goes to live with her auntie, who is her mom's sister. Yeah, her mom's sister. Anyway, she arrives with her cat, Wellington. Who the fuck names their cat Wellington, by the way?
British people.
It does. It sounds like Beef Wellington. Like literally Beef Wellington.
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, man, it's so funny. Oh, yeah, exactly. But anyways, when she shows up there, she's got a cousin, and this cousin is like this, just over the top.
It's like a
rich,
bad seed type thing.
Yeah, she's just an over the top rich bastard brat child. Like, she appears to be good to her parents, but she's really mean and evil, and she just hates. What's the little girl's name? Lucy? Is it Lucy that goes to live with her?
I think it's Lucy.
Yeah,
Lucy.
Yeah, it is Lucy. I think that was Charles Bronson's adopted child.
Wait, really?
The girl that played Lucy in this, is Charles Bronson's adopted child. So anyways, yeah, so she shows up with her cat and stuff, and then of course this little girl's like, her cousin's like, I want to play with Wellington. She's just being a fucking brat about it and shit, and she's torturing Lucy. She's doing all these types of mean things and stuff like that. And essentially the mom absolutely hates the cat too. She feels like the cat's getting into everything, and she's rich and proper and prim, and doesn't want an animal around the house and stuff. So they get this idea where they're going to go and basically put it down. They're going to euthanize this cat without telling Lucy. So they take the cat away, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, she's been, harassed by the other girl and shit, and she gets some revenge on her. And I actually really like this story. I really like this story.
This is easily my favorite story.
It gets zany, bro.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I liked about it. Like, it got zany instead of trying to make cats threatening.
I just love the fact that Lucy herself is responsible for the demise of the bitch. It wasn't even like an accident or anything. Like, she purposely does the incredible shrinking man.
She looks her in the eye and says, like, nah, dude, fuck you.
Dude, I know. It's so great, man. So she's into like witchcraft and all that type of stuff because her mom was into it. And so she had these books, and then, she gets this bright idea of getting revenge and using this magic and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty fun. But man, the girl in this story is so fucking annoying. Like the bitch cousin. Oh, I wanted to strangle her from the opening scene, dude.
The cousins are always assholes in movies.
She's exceptional though. Like, she's such a bitch. She's got this remote plane, and she's like totally harassing. Like, Lucy's out in the field, and she's like flying this thing by her head and doing all this crazy shit. I'm like, fucking psychotic kid, man. Like, geez, fucking kill her with that thing. But yeah, this one's fun, man. It kind of goes into that. I'm a big fan. Have you guys ever seen the Incredible Shrinking Man?
Yeah, that movie's fun. I love that movie.
I've seen The Incredible Melting Man.
Yeah, the Melting Man's fun too. That one's fun. But Shrinking Man's cool, man. I just love the idea of being like shrunk down and like everything's huge. Like, at this point in your life, like, insects are a huge deal. I love that idea.
You ever see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
You're goddamn right, I did.
I saw it in the theater.
There's a game that came out on Xbox last year called Grounded, and it's basically like that, where you're shrunk down in the backyard, and it's like all the like ants are like the size of cars to you. So it was a really fun game. I played the hell out of that game. But there's like spiders and shit. It's creepy.
Didn't Stuart Gordon write Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
He definitely was involved with.
He did write it, I think.
Show. I don't remember if he did that.
Yeah, he had something to do with it, I think.
Yeah, that was like a movie in the 90s that like everybody saw.
Loved it.
Yeah. It was like,
it's
this
fun.
is a movie I can show the kids.
Yeah, it's fun.
You like the guy from Ghostbusters, you'll love him in this.
You know what's actually a really mean aspect of this? I was just talking about how the brat child was all right, I think is it Angela? Yeah, it's Angela. I think is it Angela? The kid's name? Anyways, when she's flying the plane at Lucy, I just realized that her parents died in a plane crash, and that makes that shit even worse.
Yeah, actually. I didn't realize that either.
Oh man, that's terrible. She's like harassed her with a plane, and her parents just died in a plane crash. That's ridiculous. But yeah, no, this one
probably the intended dig.
Yeah, no, this one's cool, man. Like, I actually love the sound effects in this too. Like the cat, it sounds like a fucking tiger and shit. Like, it's pretty cool, man, because she's all small and shit. I think this is the funnest one. You guys have anything else to say on it?
I think they named her Angela because it's similar to Angel, and it's obviously her parents think she's an angel, but she's actually not.
Right? Yeah, she's the devil. She really is the devil. All right. So, and then the third story says it's Hollywood 1936, and this one's got Donald Pleasance in it. It's got John Vernon in it also. Now, this is a really fun story because it's totally tongue in cheek. It's actually quite comical. Actually, it's really funny, to be honest, man.
It's like Bloody Pit of Horror.
Yeah, it is the Bloody Pit of Horror. But I love when Donald Pleasance is in these type of roles where he's just hamming it up to the point where you can't stop laughing. Like, he's just hamming this shit up hardcore, man. Like everything from like his fake ass hair that's on his head to like what he's saying and how he says it and shit. Oh my God, he's so good in this.
Donald Pleasance just loves acting. He's a man of the people.
He was good, man. You know what Donald Pleasance looks like with that fucking ridiculous hairpiece? And I swear it's part of the joke too, because he looked like Hitler. He 100% looked like Hitler in this. He even had like, if his mustache was a little bit shorter, he would have had the Hitler stash.
Dude, he probably did it himself. He was like, "This look good."
Oh my God, dude! It's just it plays into his character in this also. But basically, what this one is like he's an actor in the short, and they're on the set of this film. What was it called? Not Bloody Pit of Horror. Fuck, that was a couple weeks ago.
Bloody shit of horror.
But they're shooting this scene, and this girl, this actress actually gets killed and stuff like that. And yeah, they're on the set of this.
Is his wife though, right?
Is it his wife in this one? In that?
The one that gets killed? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right, it is.
Pendulum.
Right.
Because he has a mistress.
Right. Yep. Right. Yeah. So she gets killed, and then I actually love when they hire on the mistress to do the acting and shit, and she's just like, he's like, Kate, you need to scream, and he's like,
that's the best part of the movie, bro.
Like, oh my God, dude, I just broke down. I was like, that.
And then when he's like, he gets inside there, and he's like, he's like that.
Yeah, and it's totally hamming it up again, man. It's so good. I just love the fact. Like, I shot him 9 times. Oh, you got a cat. You got a cat. What's your cat's name? Oh, it's Scat. You named your cat.
Oh,
Scat?
yeah. Me and Carly were making. I was like, "Don't name your cat Scat."
And then
Carly was like, "Scat Man Crothers."
No, and then he kicks the cat, and he's like,
"Scat Man John.
Scat cat." I was like, "Oh my God, that's so funny, dude. That's hilarious, man." At first when he said Scat, I was thinking like, did he name his cat like a piece of shit? That's what I was thinking, but it plays into the whole cat,
Scat Man,
the Scat cat. Oh my God, that was funny. Man, Donald Pleasance is a ride in this one, man. So good.
He's probably filming Halloween like right after this.
I just love the fact he's so mean to the cat, and like again, it just plays into the whole Peter Cushing idea of cats have their mind of their own and shit, and they're the ones running shit. And this cat was vicious, man. Vicious stuff.
Yep.
Dungeon of Horror. That's what it was called.
So very creative. Bloody Pit of Horror Part 2.
Dungeon of Horror.
Same.
Get into the Iron Maiden.
That's the full move version.
Get into the Iron Maiden. Fuck, that's awesome, man. Good stuff, man. Yeah, this one's really fun, man. I mean, I don't know. I really like the middle one, but this one's like different in tone, which I kind of like that they changed the tone up a little bit and kind of went like this tongue in cheek kind of angle with it and shit. And it was perfect, like I said, with having Donald Pleasance in it and stuff. And
I think the middle one is the clear winner. I feel like that's the one that really actually puts everything together.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after this, we get, the wraparound and then what happens to Peter Cushing and stuff, which is pretty cool. I mean, in a sense, it's a little bit predictable, but it makes a lot of sense why they would do that too.
Yeah.
But, all in all, it plays itself out like an Amicus, a classic Amicus anthology and stuff is very much the same. So, if you're into those type of films, then you'll probably dig this one. This one it's not like a top shelf anthology, but it's entertaining enough with, mostly, good to really good. shorts. I don't think anything's terrible here. So, but really, how can you go wrong? Even if you only have Peter Cushing in the film for 10 minutes, I guess, of screen time. I don't know. Still pretty good. So,
just the fact you had like him and Ray Milland, like, hanging out and pissing in the breeze, like that's cool enough.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, fucking Ray Milland, classic actor. Peter Cushing. Yeah, it's pretty cool to have. So what do you guys have on the ratings on this one? JP, what do you rate this one?
Fun fact, cats have an extra organ that allows them to taste the scent of air.
Taste the scent of air? Wow.
Does that mean they can like taste farts?
I was just gonna say. Yeah. So if you fart in a cat's face, they're basically gonna.
I always fart in cat's face.
Yeah, I'm sure I've done it. I'm probably gonna go do it now just because you told me that.
That is too fucking funny.
But the funniest thing to me
if I
is
blow like vapor in their face, are they just like, oh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
And to me, it was always funny, like if you got like a puppy or something, and like they farted, but they didn't know like what the fuck it was. They hear a sound, they're like, they look at their butt, they're like, what's that? What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, the Uncanny. I like it. I actually like all three stories, and even the first one I thought was cool. I agree that the second one is the best story and my favorite, but it's not like super far ahead like with certain anthologies. I mean, I liked all these about the same, maybe a little bit more or less. I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Tyler.
I thought this movie was fine. I don't think there's anything special. The only thing I found really memorable was the ending of the second short. It's pretty fun, and if anyone ever mentions this movie, that's what I'm going to remember. But yeah, it's pretty average, I think, overall. I'm going to give it a 5.5.
I'm coming in at 7 also. I think it's pretty solid. Seen it a few times over the years. It's always good for a watch, So I recommend it if you like anthology films. So The Uncanny from 1977.
42 shots.
All right, so getting into the second film here from 1987, we have Uninvited. Yeah. Directed by Graydon Clark. What else did Graydon Clark do? Do you guys know?
Without Warning.
Oh, he directed with...
That movie's fun.
Yeah, that's why I know the name. I was like, I recognize this.
Yeah, that's like, I literally remember the name from next. It's just such a unique name.
What else did he do going back? Oh, he did Black Shampoo. Oh, he did Satan's Cheerleaders. Shit. I've seen a bunch of this guy's movies. I love Black Shampoo. It's fun. Blaxploitation film. Without Warning. Oh, he also did The Return, Wacko, which is ridiculous. Joysticks. He directed fun. Joysticks. Nice. Final Justice, which I've never seen, but I've heard that one's pretty
Joysticks, fun. And I've heard of Dance Macabre, and that's it. But I've never seen anything besides Without Warning.
Yeah. Final Justice. I've heard of that one. I know MVD Classic, Rewind, whatever. They just put that out. Oh, he directed Skinheads from '89. Crazy. I remember seeing that movie lots of times growing up. Dance Macabre. Is that the one with Robert Englund?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scream Factory actually released that one. I have seen that one. Also, I've seen a lot of movies this guy's done. Dark Future. Crazy. Wow. He's done a lot more movies than I thought. All right. So a quick little synopsis. A cat infected with a genetically engineered virus escapes from a lab and goes on a killing spree, finding its way on board a shady businessman's yacht loaded with young guests. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty accurate, I guess. Did they ever explain in the beginning of the film what they're genetically doing? Are they like what they were doing?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because I couldn't remember after. I was like, because I've seen this movie a few times. And I'm like, am I just missing it, or are they just, because the movie opens up with these doctors injecting this cat, doing something with it and stuff, and that's it. That's basically it. And then the cat fucking fucks off, and it, it
literally like
mutates itself.
Like literally, like it starts, and the cat's like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here," and like plows out of there, and then like it just like shows it, and then like, okay, you've seen the cat, now on to the hot chicks.
This movie is so bizarre. Like, Like it describes as, infected with a genetically engineered virus. They call it a virus. I'm like, since when does a virus like mutate into like a physical fucking, like a physical alien and come out of you? Like
The cat.
it is. It's like, it's not even a cat. It's like a monster inside a cat. It's like bizarre. It's the
Dude,
funniest looking shit ever. You know what I love about this movie though? Like
puppet. I love it.
You know what I love about this, man? Every fucking scene where this thing mutates and comes out of the cat's mouth, it looks different in like every scene. I swear they use like multiple different puppets and shit. Like by the end of the movie, you're like, oh, that's a cool look for that little monster now.
Like this is the thing about this movie. Okay.
So fucking funny.
Like aside, all right. So like for the most part, aside from like the villains, basically, the acting in this movie is fucking terrible. Like the effects are so fucking goofy. They had like a sound bank of like some 90s TV movies and they use the same four over and over and over. And it's just so ridiculous. But I think the director like understood all this. He's like, listen, this is stupid. I know we don't have a whole lot here, but we got fucking George Kennedy. We got this dude. Like they're hamming it up like the veteran actors they are and playing it right, and we're gonna have a good fucking time. And that's what this movie does.
It's so fucking funny, dude. Like I remember watching this movie back in the day and not even realizing that Albert was played by Clu Gallagher.
Yeah, like he got some good veterans to just ham it up and like play like good heels.
It's amazing.
Like, hey, you want this pussycat?
It's amazing what a mouth, like fake teeth will do and like some glasses. I didn't even realize it was him. It's like the funniest thing, man.
Yeah.
Like he's hamming it up so hardcore in this film too. Like everything he says is just so goofy.
So goofy. I love it.
Goofy.
Like, they knew what they had. They knew he had all this against him, and he made a really fun movie. Like and used the way he could.
I don't know if this is accurate, but the budget says 200,000, which I feel like they did a lot for 200. If the budget really was 200,000,
probably do. Like I bet you, like one of those vets, like George, like I don't know, whatever, like George Kennedy or Clue, like was probably like, yeah, I'll do this as a discount. You can use my boat. Like that's
man. I love when they fucking.
It feels like a movie where somebody had access to a boat.
Yeah,
and was like we can make a movie out of this.
Like it's like
and only for so much time though too, because by the end of the film, like when the boat's sinking and shit, they use the miniature, and it's the funniest goddamn thing ever.
My god, the cat floating away on the briefcases.
I even read that they filmed those miniature parts of the yacht in Graydon Clark's fucking pool in his backyard.
Dude, they did what they could. Like
the scene where they actually escape the yacht and they're like floating in the safety boat or whatever. That's like all in his pool.
And like now that I think about it, like I wasn't like Without Warning is the same deal. Like you got a bunch of random people, then like whatever he could do, and he had like 3 great veteran actors that just fucking hammed it up and like made the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy knew what he was doing.
Right. I mean, that's all you need, though. That's all you need. I mean, he had Rob Estes before Rob Estes was even on Melrose Place. That's kind of cool.
That guy was so funny. I just like, I loved like all the villains. Like, don't be such a pussy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, George Kennedy's playing George Kennedy in this film. He's like that in so many movies, man.
Yeah, George Kennedy's awesome. Every time, like, he's one of those people that like anytime he just like pops up in some like old like 60s or 70s or 50s, we're like, yeah, I love that guy.
Even Alex Cord is good in the film too. I've seen it in a bunch of things, but yeah, I mean, I this thing combines a couple elements that I love in film, though, man. Like I love killer animal films and I love shit set on boats. So I'm like, why not just throw a mutated killer cat on a boat, make a movie, please, Moodz. It's good to me, man. What makes this movie, though, for me is the shitty ass effects, though, man. The effects are so fucking funny in this movie. I can't help but just die laughing every time the cat mutates. It kills me, man. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
You almost don't expect it to like be that shitty. It like comes out of nowhere.
Right. It's
absurd. That's why I like
it. That's why I like it. It really takes some good direction and a keen eye to be like, this is what we got, and we're gonna fucking make it work.
Right.
Yeah. Fun fact: cats walk like camels and giraffes. They move both their right feet first, then their left feet. No other animals walk this way. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So they moved their front right foot and back right foot, and then the left side.
No, it's trippy.
Now I'm gonna like observe this. Be like, you do that.
You know what I love about this? Like, this movie isn't very sleazy. Actually, if you watch the extended version,
that's like the one thing this movie was lacking. You needed some nudity.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you watch the extended version that's on the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, I watched it the first time I got the Blu-ray. I didn't watch it this time though. So the Rachel character, the blonde-haired girl in the film, she actually does. There is a sex scene in the film, but in the theatrical cut or whatever, they cut that. They cut out her boobie scene. So if you watch,
I definitely watched boobs.
Yeah, so if you watch the extended cut, then it's about 3 minutes longer. The movie, it doesn't really. I think it's just that scene, and there's a couple other like character development scenes and stuff. It's not really much difference at all. But there is an alternate ending. Did you watch the alternate ending on it?
No, I just watched.
I think I did when I got the Blu-ray, but I don't think I remember it.
Yeah, I didn't watch this on Blue, so I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I actually like the alternate ending that they didn't use. It's actually quite funny to me. But I think it's pretty funny.
What happens?
So in the regular ending, has the kid on the beach grabbing the regular ending has the kid on the beach, right, with the
cat, yeah.
With the cat, and
that's
with the briefcase.
Yeah, that's how mine
briefcase.
ended.
So in the alternate ending, it just cuts to a kid walking up a dock and handing his dad a briefcase, and they open up the briefcase and the fucking cat monster comes out of it, and it just ends like that. It's so fucking funny. It's like so random.
That's on brand, but it's also stupid. So like, I understand.
I actually prefer that one because it comes out and it looks so, and again, it looks different. It just looks different. It's so funny. So yeah, but man, the music in this movie is so bad, dude. Like the score is so cheesily horrible.
The sound effects, like they just use like the same four over and over and over,
and the same song that plays, like when they're doing their dance party and shit. Like it's the same song just on repeat the whole time. I'm like, are you fucking serious? But like even in these like emotional moments and stuff, like the music, the score is so bad. It is the cheesiest. It's like daytime soap opera.
Yeah,
music.
it sounds like a 90s sitcom.
Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. I love it. It's so great, man. Yep. But I mean, there's a couple decent deaths, man. I actually like the scene where George Kennedy gets his ankle bit and shit. And I love the girl trying to explain after. She's like the cat like manifested and like changed its look, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so bad.
Even like there's like the guy figures out that there's some sort of mutation with this cat like out of nowhere.
Yeah. I know, like
he's like,
who
let
brought
me
the
pull out a
scientist
microscope?
Like who brought the fucking scientist on? He's like, hey, you have this calibrator and this. He's like, oh, you got some water I can do on the blood. And he's like, yeah, I've seen rabies before. This isn't rabies. Right. This is a mutation. I'm like, who brought fucking?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, fucking right. This nerd's hanging out with these chicks.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
What else was fucking? Oh, this movie's like very bright. I kind of like that about it. It's all daylight mostly, and it's just like very bright. Kind of different for a movie.
Yeah, the Blu-ray looks fantastic.
I'm assuming I watched like the Vinegar Syndrome transfer because this looks really good.
If you watch it on Shudder,
it's ridiculous, dude. It looks so good, man. Like this movie shouldn't look that good.
Yeah, that was one thing. I was like, this movie looks way better than I ever should have looked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there's, for the death scenes and shit, my favorite one is probably actually Rachel's death, where she doesn't believe that the food is all poisonous and shit like that. Because, like, what happens in the film, the cat bites you, and so it's actually like a poisonous cat. And what it did is, the cat was smart, apparently. Apparently, the cat was fucking smart, and it, like, attacked all the food. It got into, like, their food pantry and shit, and, like, bit into all this food, so it made all the food poisonous, so they actually couldn't eat it. But Rachel didn't believe it, and she's like, you guys are holding out on me, man. You guys are eating all the food. So she goes in there and mows down on her food. Then her fucking neck explodes. It's awesome.
Yeah, the bladder effect. Oh my God.
The bladder effect.
I love bladder effects.
Me too, man.
Bladder effects always fucking work, even if they look shitty.
At least the blood looked good. Like the blood actually looked like real blood. So that was cool. But yeah, that scene's pretty cool. S's death is just like kind of like, it just kind of happens. The one part in the film I don't really understand. is when the dorky dude, when he gets bit and shit, and he falls over the end of the boat with the girl, and they just like disappear. Like, what the fuck? Like, they both drown, but they never resurface. Like, they fall over the side of the boat, and that's it. Like, how did she just fully drown?
Couldn't swim.
But like usually, like when people fall overboard, they struggle in the water, and there's always a big scene, and like, so they jump in after them, and they've already sank. They sank like fucking like bricks. I'm like, that's the weirdest thing ever, dude. I'm like, that's way to kill off two characters pretty fast. But
that would have been too difficult to film.
I like how the guy is like, when we get back to the thing, you know, I'm not going to need this boat anymore, so I'll give it to you for a good price.
Right.
It's like he's still going to make her pay for it.
Oh man, I can't believe they never made a sequel to this, man. Fuck.
You can't.
I can believe it.
Well, with the alternate ending, man, the cat was alive still. Come on.
Yeah, but they got to make money to make sequels, bro.
Right.
This thing was,
it doesn't matter if it's making money. This is still money to me, man. Shit. It was worth the admission. It was worth the admission watching Clue Gallagher fucking just totally ham it up, like hardcore hamming it up. Like, you thought Donald Pleasance in the Uncanny was hamming it up? Fuck.
Yeah.
This is a different level.
Yeah, I like Clue Gallagher. Good guy. Fun guy.
Yeah.
There are cats who actually have more than 18 toes. These extra digit species felines are referred to as polydactyl.
And I bet you this mutated cat had more.
Yep. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Ratings?
Yeah, what else is there to say, man? It's like a fucking... It almost plays out like a slasher film, though, the way the cat's like picking off people one by one and shit.
At least in two, like, this one solved the problem of, like, you could just make the cat a fucking mutant instead of trying to make, like, a house cat kill people.
Right. You know, I actually like the scene where when those two dudes, like, rob the guy at the gas station, they're driving down the road, the cat jumps in the back of the pickup and then basically attacks them. I love that scene, man. These guys are like, fuck yeah, man, we got away, we got all this money and shit. And then fucking cat like busts through the fucking window. It's amazing. Just like, it's such a random part in the film, but showing that the cat is out to get bad people. But not really, though. Kind of breaks its own rule because it starts killing off good people too. So, but anyways, yeah, they were definitely in the way. It was it's like an alien monster. I don't know, man. You got to see the alternate ending, man. By the end of it, the cat inside the briefcase. Oh my god, man, so funny looking. It's amazing. Tyler, what do you rate this one?
This movie's a lot of fun. It might not be good in the traditional sense, but I liked it, and I think the director was aware of what he had to work with and just said, we're gonna make a fun movie and we're going to ham it up, and we're just going to make it work. And it did. I think this movie's good. It's not great, but it's good. It's entertaining. After I watched that really depressing long movie, I watched this right afterwards to kind of shock my brain back into place. And it was just it was a fun time. So I'm going to give this movie 6.5.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm giving it too. 6.5 out of 10. It's just interesting when you look at his filmography, like the different levels of like productions and stuff, but this one definitely really kind of stands out. It's just a fun ass popcorn flick. Like, you can't really go wrong. But yeah, it probably could have used. I mean, you have two girls that are literally in bikinis the entire movie with like,
right? It's like
no nudity. You're like, how the fuck does this happen, man? This is the craziest thing. But
like, hey, I'll give you $500 more if you show your tits. Like, okay.
I just think it's funny that they actually cut that scene and put it in the extended version. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, who would do that?
I know, it's so strange because like the sex scene in this film is like probably like 4 or 5 seconds long. It's literally them kissing and it just cuts to another scene. You're like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Should they have a change where they like swap bikinis or something?
Right.
Perfect for no reason.
Well, like in Bloody Pit of Horror, like every scene, those models were changing their clothes in every scene. And it's funny because like if you remember the film, it's like they weren't even like shooting in the outfits that they were wearing. They just kept changing into different outfits.
Yeah.
Fucking so sleazy, man. But it wasn't really like heavy nudity, but they were just changing. All right, JP, what do you give it?
I give it a 6.5 out of 10 as well.
6.5s across the board. Alrighty. All right, so that's Uninvited from 1987.
Strays.
All right, so getting into the third and final film here on episode 248, Killer Cats, Zoology Vol.3. We are going to go to the 90s, 1991, with a TV film called
The Year of My
Strays.
Birth.
Yes.
Same.
Oh, so we had a 70s, 80s, and 90s film in this one also.
Mhm.
Interesting enough. Yeah, and this is a TV film. I still can't believe that this one guy got, like, all three of these movies have really good releases. Like the Uncanny was released by Severin. We had Vinegar Syndrome, Uninvited, and Scream Factory released Strays. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the craziest thing. And this Blu-ray looks really good too. Like,
Yeah, I saw the Blu-ray transfer of this, and I was like, "This movie looks way better than it's supposed to."
I know, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you can imagine-
the funny thing about Strays is that it skipped DVD. So it was on VHS, never had a DVD release ever.
Yeah.
And then finally got a Blu-ray release. This is actually, I did a video like 10 years ago about like 10 movies I wanted to see get a release. And this was one of them. I'm pretty sure almost everything on that list has been released now.
Man, I've made probably a handful of movies or videos like that where like I want this on Blu-ray one day and shit like that. And I think pretty much everything I had on this list has been out now too.
Everything is just released now.
It's just crazy the amount of shit that we're getting.
Like, there's stuff that like never had any business being on 4K. That's like,
Oh, Vinegar Syndrome's like the king of that shit.
yeah, I guarantee like what they do is they just buy lots of like what you would have seen like in Walmart, 25 movies in one, and they just like put like nice shiny packages on them and make them look nice.
All right. Synopsis on Strays. A troubled family move to an isolated house and find and adopt a couple of cats already in residence. Okay. They are not the only occupants, however. A troubled family? Are they really troubled?
No.
They kind of become troubled.
Well, but it says a troubled family moved to an isolated house, so that means they were already troubled before they got there.
This guy's wife sucks.
Why?
She's just like so suspicious of him. Just complains the whole
Dude, if
fucking
you were
movie.
married to a ginger, that much of a like that hardcore
Well,
ginger,
I understand the complexity of why she's not like over the top jealous, but I understand her position because like, so what
she apparently probably knows her sister's a fucking slut.
Well, the story is that, you know, we've got this guy, he's a lawyer, and he's
her sister's worse than her. Her sister really sucks.
Yeah, but like, okay, so he's representing his wife's sister, so his sister-in-law, and in her divorce because she was a slutty, and he finds out later in the film that like she had actually cheated on her husband. And
oh my god, yeah, dude, like that part when like she does that and she's fucking trying to play victim, like she's somehow like
I like how he plays it though.
Guy.
I like how he plays it because as a lawyer, you can't defend that because she was in the wrong.
It's like, dude, he's like, why wouldn't you tell me this? And she's like, what was I supposed to do? Just stay at home and bake cookies? I have needs. Oh my god, lady.
Right. Yeah, it's a weird subplot in the film, but it plays into the fact that like there's a scene in the film where she shows up at the house one morning and she gives the guy a huge kiss on the lips and like holds it and shit. And of course the wife sees it a little bit and she's all pissed off and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, the sister's she's a slut.
Plus the sister is actually like a real estate agent, so
yeah, she sold them the house.
How they got the house, so it kind of all fits together, works together.
I don't know. Then she's just then like, oh, there's all these fucking cats in that. Let's get rid of them. And she's just like, no. And like, this is all your fault, lady.
That's what I never understood about it. So you're a real estate agent and you sell this house to your family, knowing that there's like, you know, possibility of like, you know, maybe rats, but there's all these cats up there and shit like that. Like, why would you think that's a good fucking idea to sell
fucking sane person would find an attic full of feral cats and be like, I'm keeping them? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they don't really mean to keep them. They kind of like, they're just in a position where they don't really know what to do and stuff. It's kind of a weird narrative. Like
they got rid of them pretty easily when they needed to. So it's like, why was this not just the first decision?
No, but like knowing that those things were there in the first place, because in the narrative, like the husband is deathly allergic to cats. So why would you even move into a place that had like get them all cleaned out first?
It's like retarded. Like
wait, hold on. She knew that there was a bunch of cats there.
I mean, if you're a real estate agent, you should probably know what the inside of the house looks like. If you're going to,
yeah, but they go through the house and they don't see any cats.
I guess they don't actually see them at that point and stuff. But anyways, they find the cats in there like right away. So why wouldn't you do something about it right away if you were alert? Like, not even from the fact that these things could be dangerous and feral and stuff, but simply for the fact that this guy is clearly allergic to cats and you wouldn't want that shit anywhere near you. Like, he's sneezing the entire movie. Like, every scene has him just sneezing and wiping up snot from his face. It's fucking hilarious.
That's what I mean. And the wife just like one of the cats.
Right. I mean, they do find one normal cat with the kittens and stuff like that. But of course, there's a fucking stock of like feral cats up there that are it's like the Gremlins effect again, man. You got Gizmo.
Like, dude, pick your favorite one. Pick your favorite one and keep that one. Like, holy shit! Like, why do you need 18 feral cats?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was their point was to keep.
When did they? I'm so confused. When did they find 18 feral cats?
Did they find a bunch of cats in the attic like immediately?
No,
that the old lady that died, right? At the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. So there is cats around. Like, we know that there's cats around there.
Yeah, but we don't actually. They don't like walk into a room and there's like 18 cats and they're like, let's
no. I'm saying about 20 minutes in the film, they start. I mean, I think it's more or less after the dog gets attacked.
It's like it's pretty.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're in the house. They could be outside.
Oh, I thought they knew they were in the attic and the wife just wanted to keep them.
No, when?
I think there is a scene where they go up in the attic, and I'm pretty sure that
there's a bunch of cats up there.
Is it before they find the good white cat with the kittens, or is it after that? I can't remember. But anyways, they keep the white cat.
Either way, like cats are introduced as an issue, like pretty quickly in this movie, and they just decline to do anything about it.
I don't remember them not doing anything about the cats personally. I could be misremembering.
Well, they don't do anything about the one good cat that they find, which is again is a problem for him because he's allergic to it. So
but I mean, the kid wants it.
But I mean, if you're that allergic to him, man, like fine.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
well, he's clearly struggling with it. I just find it interesting, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, being a TV film, man, this one is pretty mild. You're not going to get like a lot of, actually, there is one death scene in this film that's actually shot pretty well. It's pretty decent, but it doesn't even involve, well, I guess it does involve the cats, but I mean, it's not really.
Their repair guy?
No, not the sister, Steph.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. That was so funny. I watched it like twice. I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
They shot it pretty decent because it looks like she actually goes over there and needles through the...
I noticed it the second time and I laughed so hard. The cat like catapults at her and she like throws it over her over her shoulder. And you just see her like launch this cat across the room and I laughed so fucking hard.
Yeah, so I mean, you get the repair guy's death, which is okay, and then her death. It's just funny, man. Like the way she bounces off that fucking. It's like holy shit, dude.
They made everything worth it.
Yeah, but overall, I think this one is a little bit like it's pretty slow for what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it has like the middle section was very just like nothing happened. Like it had it presented the issue.
You have the subplot with that's really where the chunk of like the downtime goes, is the subplot with the sister-in-law.
Yeah, big time.
I've always loved this movie. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I watched it growing up as a kid.
This is definitely a nostalgic bomb for you.
This
played
felt for
all
me,
the time.
It felt like a Goosebumps movie.
Well, it's a TV movie, so they all sort of
I don't even mean that as a dig. Like it just like it felt like something like a feature length Goosebumps movie from the 90s.
This movie feels exactly of the era of TV movies and especially killer animal movies. Like move into a house. There's even TV movies in general at this time always was like a family moves into a house and some shit happens, you know. But for what it is, and like the first of it, like it being a TV movie, so you can't be like overly violent, which helps this movie in a way because it's hard to make cats look overly violent, like we mentioned. And I think for what you're able to do in this situation, I think it's pretty competently made. Like there's like a lot of cool shots of like POV, like cat footage, you know, from the cat's point of view. And there's a lot of like they do make the cats look foreboding a lot of times, like especially the one that looks like Church a little bit.
Yeah, the leader of the pack. Yeah,
like there's actually the scene where the cat is in like there's a bunch of cats like swarming in the crib. I remember as a kid used to like actually scare me a little bit because it's like just getting smothered by feral cats.
Yeah, and that's actually like a danger moment where like you could believe that. I'll definitely give credit for that.
Yeah, that was actually probably one of the better scenes in the film, actually, because like when she's ripping and throwing these cats everywhere, like, the last thing you want to find is your fucking child at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah,
right.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah. And it's just like how I love how it gets like turns into like a full blown like Amityville horror, like raining and storming at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't know. It's like it is not an amazing movie by any means, but I always thought for like what it's able to do, being a TV movie, it's pretty competent.
Yeah, no, I mean it's got a couple of decent deaths in it and stuff, and like actually, you know what I was trying to think of, like,
it's
you know how
quick too. It's only an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it does breeze by, and I will even say, like, even though I didn't think this movie was like particularly good, like, I is of like the TV movie of the era, and I am like nostalgic in a way for that too, because I did like this does look like a TV movie I would have seen growing up, and like I didn't hate it for that or anything.
Going back to what we said about them not doing anything but the cats up there, there is a scene in the film where the dad wakes up and he steps on the mouse, and remember he calls whoever the fuck he calls, and he's like, man, like he's all fucking freaking out and shit like that. But they knew, because he's like, man, we got a bunch of cats up here and blah blah blah. So they actually knew about the cats upstairs at that point in the film.
That's what I thought. I thought they found out about him pretty early. Maybe I was misremembering.
I still have no clue what you guys
because he's stepping on the mouse.
Yeah, and they find the white cat.
Wasn't just news to him. Like he's like, we got fucking cats up here and shit. Like, what the fuck is this?
Well, they find the white cat. They don't find a bunch of cats.
No, but I think they know that there's other cats up
if
there.
you found a one cat, would you think that there's like a million?
I also would not think there would be a pack of cats, but like I would probably go up there and look for like there's probably a litter of kittens up here somewhere. That would be my first instinct, because cats usually do not live alone.
No,
that's why like a lot of the times you see people with two cats.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, but yeah, and like overall, man, like Strays it's a decent film. I just think it lulls in the middle big time. Like honestly, man, like some of the shit with the sister, and like even when they're out for lunch after, like she kisses and she's all pissed off and stuff, I'm just like, I don't care. I just want to get to the meat and potatoes here. I want to see some cats doing some crazy cat shit. And I mean, it's got a pretty decent ending. I mean, for what it is, I mean, I feel like, I guess you were kind of, I mean, honestly, dude, the cats fuck that house up though. Like that storm, like the whole house gets flooded. The whole inside just gets completely destroyed. That line, though. I'm like, this is just insane. Like that whole house is literally destroyed after the fact. I found that pretty funny actually, but.
I love that line though, when like the cops come and he's like, is this your house? He's like, no. Are you the owner of this house? And he goes, no.
Right. But it's like it only gets to that point with what 15 minutes left in the film.
Yeah, I kind of like felt like nothing happened in this movie until like the last 20 minutes.
I mean, you get a little bit. I mean, you get that pretty tense scene with the cats in the crib and stuff, but like most of it is like it's kind of crazy.
At the end, though,
it is really like all at the end, and like it's like the last like 15, 20
The only thing you really get, so you get the old lady at the beginning of the film, and then the next thing you get is like the I think it's the worker, the worker guy.
Yeah, there's not a lot of deaths, but like
and that doesn't even happen till like
halfway in,
30 minutes in.
Yeah, being an 80-minute film, man, it does
fly by quick though. Like, this is the kind of, if you're gonna make a movie like this, like, don't overstay your welcome.
Yeah, and then you get 100%. The siege on the house. That's literally like the whole movie.
Yeah.
I know it's a decent.
The dog
watch.
Gets attacked too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The dog gets attacked.
Because after the
that part is like realistic too. Like, because like that's not even a big dog and a bunch of cats.
But they don't show it though. Like that always bugs me. This
like that's kind of like, now you're asking.
That's the TV movie aspect.
Like all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you hear this dog
animal
whining.
on animal combat. That's a hard ask.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah. You guys got anything else on Strays?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
All right. I'm going to give this one about a 6 out of 10. I think it's a decent TV movie. I'm honestly like a really big fan of like TV horror films and stuff.
So especially ones from this era, and they did a lot of killer animal ones like bees, snakes. Like there's a bunch of snake ones, not a bunch, but like 3 snake ones that came out around this time.
Yeah, it wasn't Python. Was that a TV movie?
Yeah, but I think that. Yeah, I think that.
Or was it later? Is that one later?
No. I think that was it. If it wasn't a TV movie, it played on TV all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But like Rattlers and
Rattlers. Yeah.
What's the other one?
Fuck, there's so many TV movies.
Venomous or something. There's a handful of snake ones, and
there was quite a few, because when we did the prep for 91, remember, like we watched a lot of TV movies, I believe.
Yeah, there was definitely a few in 91.
Yeah.
There's actually a TV movie in 2011, Bag of Bones, Stephen King.
Oh, I'm not rewatching that. I watched that a couple of years ago.
I picked up the DVD. I found it for $5. I've never seen it before, actually.
It's not. I remember it being not very good, and it's like a mini series, so it's long. It's like 3 hours.
It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's okay. It's not the worst thing you've ever seen, but like I read the book, and that's one of my favorite Stephen King.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, dude, it's so weird. I've been reading a lot of Stephen King lately, or listening to a lot of Stephen King lately.
I should just start doing that, because like I really I don't have time to read and watch a bunch of movies, and like I drive a lot. So it's like there's no reason I can't like listen to books.
Yep, that's what I've been doing, especially now with Spotify. They give you like 14 free hours of audiobooks a month or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome. And
and they have like all the Stephen King titles on there.
Yeah, a couple of years ago too, probably like going like back like 6, 7, 8 years ago now, I did really get into Stephen King, and I rattled off. I read like something around like probably like 20, 22 Stephen King books in like a good probably like a 15-month period.
Yeah, I've been going through them like crazy. I just finished the Mr. Mercedes trilogy.
I've read the first one. I thought the first one was pretty good.
The first one's great. I think the second one I liked a little bit more, and the third one I was disappointed with. But then The Outsider, which is like a spinoff from that series, has the Holly character. That one's really good. I'm actually re-listening to that one now, because that Holly character becomes like a major, like his newest book is literally called Holly, and it's a book about her. So she's been in like 5 of his books lately in the last like 10 years or 15 years.
Yeah. Mr. Mercedes was kind of new when I read it.
Yeah. All those ones are newish. Like I think Outsider was 2018. Holly is this year. But I've been listening to a bunch of Stephen King. I actually started Joe Hill's it's Nosferatu. Do you guys know that one?
No.
Which one?
It's called the license plate is like NOS.
Oh yeah,
number 4.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I've seen that, but I don't know anything about it. But yeah,
I never realized that license plate spelled out Nosferatu until I started listening to the book. But it's actually really fucking good so far. It's creepy. It's like, it reminds me a little bit of Dr. Sleep, and like Bones and all, maybe a little bit. But it's about this like killer that like abducts like children and takes them to this place called Christmas Land, where it's Christmas every day. It's fucking creepy. And he drives around in an old Rolls Royce, which seems to be a theme with Stephen King and his son. They like to make cars.
This is Mr. Mercedes or whatever.
Yeah. No, this is NS NOS. It's not. It means Nosferatu, but it's like a license plate, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one. It's Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. He
Right,
that's what
right.
I'm listening to currently. It's really good so far. But I was looking for books that were set on Christmas or had to do with Christmas, and I found that. And I was like, oh, let me check this out. And then, but yeah, I've been going really hard on audiobooks lately. Anyway, strays. There's a book that I've been wanting for years called "Are You in the House Alone?" or Have You Checked the Children or something. It's one of those from one of the classic TV movies. But it's a book by Amanda Reyes, who does a lot of commentaries. I'm sure you guys have heard her before.
Yeah.
She's like a film historian.
Mm-hmm.
She did a book on TV movies that I've been meaning to pick up for literal years. And it's literally just a book about like TV movies from like the 1970s on.
You know what it's called?
Yeah, it's called like Have You Checked the Children? Or
it's actually
Are
called
You
that.
in the House Alone? A Guide to TV Movies. It's called something like that. It's like it's named after a quote from one of the TV movies of that era.
I didn't know that was a TV movie.
What?
Like When a Stranger Calls.
What? It might not have been, actually. I might be thinking.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, okay. I was like, that seems like a pretty fucking good TV movie.
But the When a Stranger Calls Back was a TV movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Right.
I'm trying to look it up right now, just so I can give an actual title.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Oh, it's called Are You in the House Alone? A TV movie compendium. 1964 to 1999.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things about the book. I've heard other people talk about it.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, this looks pretty interesting. Shit. I did not know about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick it up. There's a handful of books that are like niche like that I want.
I have tons of books like this. Good shit, though. Good shit. So what do you rate this one?
I think it's you.
I went first.
Oh, would you give it
a 6?
I gave it 6.
Okay. Yeah. I have always... Wait, it's Tyler, right? Or no, it's me. Man, I'm fucking weird today. But no, I've always liked this movie. I don't think it's like amazing or anything. It's kind of nostalgic for me. Did not actually make my top 10 of 1991. But I do like it. I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Tyler.
I thought this was just okay. I don't think it was great, but I didn't hate it. So I'll give it a 5.
Q. All right. So that is going to conclude episode 248. And we are going to be back next week with our annual Christmas show. And we are watching Calvary, A Cadaver Christmas, and It's a Wonderful Knife. And reviewing.
Yep.
Watching and reviewing. So I'm looking forward to watching It's a Wonderful Knife because my buddy's actually in that movie and he dies. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that he was in the film until I saw his post on Facebook. And I was like, oh shit. Because he works in the film industry in Vancouver. He does lots of movies and shit, but didn't know he was in it. So that's kind of cool. So I'll have to.
Yeah. And I'm just like a big fan of Christmas movies, so I always enjoy the show.
Right. Good
and
shit.
we've done so many of them too, dude. I was looking back. We've done so many of the Christmas movies.
Oh fuck, so many of them.
Like all the old ones we've more or less done.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's too many from like pre 2000 that we haven't done.
I really don't think there is. Like
yeah.
Maybe like Santa Claus, the one that TerrorVision just released.
Yeah, we didn't do that one. One.
Feeders
Santa
2.
Claus.
Yeah, we didn't do that one.
But there's very few that we haven't done.
There's a few randoms, but
there's even less good ones.
Right.
But yeah, this should be fun. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. All right. So yeah. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
All right. I'm hungry, so I'm going to go eat. And
Yep.
Eat a dick.
we'll
I got a pack.
we'll see you guys next week. Or yeah, we'll be back next week. So
All right.
Deuces.
Peace.
Peace.
That's all, folks.